into SmackDown. The Rock said, know your damn role.
I'm testifying, I'm flying above the circle. I died to find their watch as I plan to show you. And I climbed up the ladder, they don't know just what I'm holding. Electrifying, lifting you up and over again. They can't define us, an indestructible force to deal with. It never hurt us, there ain't no mercy out on the streets. But I'm with my brother, he tagged me and get somebody beat up. You can't even see us, but we put you up and over again. I'm testifying, I'm flying above the circle. I got to find their watch as I plan to show you. And I climbed up the ladder, they don't know just what I'm holding. Electrifying, lifting you up and over again.
Welcome to the Up and Over Podcast, a professional wrestling podcast where a bunch of marks discuss pro wrestling, where everything's at work and our opinions don't even matter. Firstly, I'd like to introduce the man of the hour, our local birthday boy, the coffee-chugging Cadillac cowboy himself, Old Ethan.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
birthday week. I got a lot to say. I got some beans to spill.
Ooh.
It's time to rock and roll.
He said beans.
Yeah, you heard
It's almost
me. They
birthday
baked, too.
day, in fact. Seeing
Yo.
as we're a little late on the podcast today.
Man, I ain't even gonna get going on that one.
It's fine.
I
Ethan,
don't know where I was going, to be honest. But
happy early birthday here. Happy belated birthday by the time these people are listening to it.
yeah. Speaking of my birthday, I'm taking Take Me to Dallas donations on Cash App. You want to join?
That'll be on the Up and Over Podcast Twitter. With that being said, we have, of course, the dynamic duo. Firstly, Big Papa C, the man, the myth, the legend. That's my man, Cortland.
What up?
Oh wow.
And debuting for the first time ever, former Scientologist turned pinball enthusiast. That is Pinball Patty Mills.
How's it going, world? Your boy's here to save the world. I don't fucking know.
It sounded good. The mission is possible, right? I'll never forget you saying
working
that.
it out.
And of course, we have the man behind it all, the true face of the Up and Over Podcast, the man coming directly to you from his living room that looks like a guest bedroom. That is Casey, El Gordo Gringo.
I found my Bam Bam signed photo, and it makes me happy.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
If you're not watching on YouTube and you are listening to this via podcast, Casey's finger was nowhere near the picture on his wall.
Wasn't the general direction, you know?
But it was a good effort.
It was around there.
It's somewhere over there.
It's in this general vicinity.
If you see me sweating in this podcast, mind your business. I'm pretty sure my AC's broken. You don't know how hard it is being Mike Klinsky.
Damn, big dude.
If y'all are listening, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Up and Over Pod, upandoverpodcast.com, where you can buy dad hats, snapback hats, trucker hats, long sleeve t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts with one or two logos on it, fanny packs of the champion variety. Hopefully we get Pit Viper soon. I'm still holding out hope. Palm beanies, you get all sorts of stuff there. Upandoverpodcast.com for all of your Up and Over Podcast merchandise. On our Twitter, on our Instagram, you will find all of our social media if you want to follow us. Tell us that we suck at our podcasting duties, whatever the case might be. Fellas, before we dive into this week's episode, which is a doozy, we have a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, birthday episode for Ethan. Who would like to discuss some stuff about the current state of professional wrestling? I do believe Ethan has a few things he'd like to cover.
Why don't you
I
get
have
into
a
the
few
birthday
things.
boy himself?
I will. I'll pass it right over to him.
Let's pass it. So, Sunday, Monday of this week, New Japan decided to announce a fucking shitload of stuff. Next week, next Tuesday, which is odd that they waited till a week before to announce the card for their 50th anniversary show, which is a huge fucking show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run down the whole card and, spend too much time on it, but normally they run IWGP Heavyweight champ versus the Junior Heavyweight. But this year they're doing a fucking trios match for the main event, with Okada, Tanahashi, and Fujinami versus Suzuki, Sabre Jr., and Fujiwara, which is fucking wild. Those dudes are like 70, and fucking Fujinami is under a Legends contract with WWE, which I didn't know until I looked it up, and I'm like, that's fucking wild. But that's happening next Tuesday. If you guys are, feeling this birthday episode of mine and you want to stay up with me, and can watch it together.
No, you're not
Join
sleeping?
me. I'm not sleeping on that
New
night.
Japan
I'm
and
staying wide
chill.
awake. I'm taking the day off of work to lay back. But on top of that, not to even run down the rest of that card, they announced a 48-person New Japan Cup field, which is the largest fucking one they've ever done.
That bracket's
which is
fucking ridiculous.
I'm just like, dude, how do you? And then they have certain people that are getting buys, which is crazy. I'm just like, how do you even determine who's getting a buy? There's no rhyme or reason. I was a little disappointed at first because they're lifting restrictions in Japan. So I was like, if you're doing 48 people, you got to be bringing some people over from America or something. But there's not really anybody. I mean, Osprey's going back, but I mean, still, they're bringing in some people from other companies to spice shit up, like Shima and Taka Michinoku and stuff like that. So, should be a good one.
It'd be nice.
And anybody got anything else they want to hop on?
How do y'all feel about everyone and their mom saying that Taker should be the only person inducted this year?
Whoa.
It almost feels that way though. It almost feels like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Because it's like 5 minutes for that promo, which let's acknowledge that WWE absolutely crushed that promo, and it's probably the best promo work of WWE entirely.
Between Kane's and Undertaker's,
it rocks.
Like, Kane's last year's was fucking amazing, and then this one blew that one out of the water.
Oh.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. I don't know if it's one of those things where people have always said, like, the Hall of Fame should be smaller so that way these people can, like, really get a light shine on them. And I feel like if you're ever going to do it, Undertaker is the one to do it for the WWE, But that's if you ever do it. I don't really see them doing it, though.
Yeah, especially well, they offered Jeff Hardy a spot, right? So that would assume that they've already offered other people that spot, though.
Of course.
Right, so...
I mean, I think that if you did do smaller classes, like maybe 2 men's and 2 women's legends, like put them in the Hall of Fame and that be your class, or like 6 people as a class, instead of like trying to bulk out 12 or fucking 10 at a time.
Can I ask a question right now?
Yeah, sure.
Who else right now do you think, like, you would even put in an Undertaker class right now?
Vader.
It's tough for
Bam Bam. Bigelow. Man Bigelow not being a Hall of
Fame. Someone had brought it back up, and it's been irritating me since, that like Bam Bam basically told the world that like, hey, I'm gonna die sometime in like the next year or so. Yeah. And WWE didn't do a fucking thing about it. They were just like, well, that sucks, and like just moved on with it. Like,
it's tough. It's tough to answer your question for me, Pat, because you got to realize that they always do like historic wings too, right? You're gonna get those like old, like Blackjack Mulligan type people that get in from like the 60s and 70s. Blackjack Lanza kind of thing, and absolutely right. But there's so many of those like men and women that still deserve to be in that will make their way in, and you're like, wow, I thought they were in already. So I think that you'll end up seeing some people. I hope that this ends up being a really good class, which is a selfish thing to say because I will be there for night 1 of WrestleMania, fingers crossed. So I'm trying to see everybody party.
So you're going to the you're going to the Hall of Fame, right? So
I'm not.
Go to SmackDown?
I'm not going to the SmackDown. I'm just going to be at Mania, and they do a walkout on each night of Mania of everybody. Yeah. And so to see Undertaker do an entrance at WrestleMania is like a bucket list dream.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool.
110%.
Give me.
I got to see Kane last year, so it's like I get to see the Brothers of Destruction.
Give me Fred Durst inducting Taker, and you got your deal.
Oh my God. Oh man, I just had a weird.
Keep on rolling, baby. And he just,
I had a
drives
weird
his
thought of,
motorcycle
like,
into the fucking darkness.
What would a Fred Durst Kid Rock mix-up person look like? And the only thing I can think of is like a
Chris
hyena.
McDonald.
Any
And I don't know why.
person-
Oh my
Oh my goodness.
You gotta bleep that out.
guy! What a guy!
No, I
yeah.
love it. Keep it right in.
Oh, Lord. Anybody else want to add anything?
I honestly didn't really see a whole lot in like this week in wrestling.
What'd you guys think about Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber.
The
Brock
chamber match
Lesnar,
ruled. I enjoyed
Austin
seeing
Theory.
Brock kill people. I mean,
Was
3.5
kind of a
for
cool
me on
spot.
that bad boy.
It was
Yeah.
good, man. There were some good matches
Austin
on it.
Theory
I
looked
didn't hate
great.
it. I didn't hate
Lita
it.
looked fucking awesome. I really enjoyed the Lita and Becky match.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that Bianca running WrestleMania back is really cool.
Yep.
I'm very happy for her that she gets to try to redo SummerSlam, and I like the story that they're going about it. Becky saying that she's the victim because the fans don't like her because she beat Bianca in 20 some odd seconds. It's a cool.
And that's the
twist on
story
it,
that they're
and I enjoy
going
that.
with too. That's the
Yeah,
story
it's
that
like-
they're going with. Like they're very
Well, I like
actively showing that. So,
Yeah.
Drake Maverick was re-signed to WWE. Hopefully, he sticks around his third time around.
Bam, that's the one. That's
Tony
I got
Khan
one.
teased a big, like, massive deal, but it didn't get done. Hasn't gotten done.
Just do
it's-
deals. Quit telling me every week. when
Just
you do
Yeah.
shut
something
up
cool.
about it. Just like
We got a big fucking
it's
deal
not,
coming.
it's
Here's
not a big like shocker that I love AEW. Like that's not news to anybody. But
Yep.
Tony Khan, please do me a favor and shut the fuck up.
If it's
and quit
literally,
sticking your foot in your fucking
if it's
mouth.
not in writing and 100% done, just fucking
Yeah.
wait. Just
My
like-
favorite thing about it is he also is just like, yeah, I fucked up. Like the Jay White thing, he's like,
yeah.
I had to sign Jay White because I'm a dumbass. Like maybe you would get it then, you know?
He's like, I
my favorite
announced
part,
it,
right?
and then like that shit didn't happen till like Saturday.
Ah,
Yeah,
fuck
here's
up.
the best part. Here's the best part to me. He teased that whole thing, and the other thing, and then he adds on to it. And Tony Khan has a huge announcement on Dynamite. Where was that?
Never happened.
There was no huge announcement. Keith Lee debuted, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, weird
It's a
shit. But
mess.
one other thing that happened, fucking Tama Tonga, man, Jay White.
Turned on Tama
Said, "Fuck 'em."
Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
Very
So-
exciting. It's crazy to
So-
think that we're interested in a Bullet Club angle in 2022.
It's very sick.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is, because that shit went down the dog shit drain in about 2019. So
Yeah, so like to see them running it back, seeing the little stuff that Jay White's doing, like the promo he did with the Good Brothers on Impact was really cool. It's the little shit like telling them to stop throwing the too sweet down and put it up again, and like that shit's cool because it's just the little stuff that's gonna make this story really cool. And the Young Bucks just getting involved over Twitter. Just like talking the small shit is just so fucking funny. Like today they said something about like
New bio.
it's a race for second place or some shit like that. We're the best.
What
And it's
kings.
just so funny. They're like, oh, we never cared for Tama Tonga anyway.
That shit made
that
me
was
laugh.
the big one. That was the
I'm
big
just
one.
genuinely curious who's gonna fall with who in the whole thing, because there's
I feel like
Yeah,
the
it's just-
Bucks are gonna fall with Jay White, right?
but the Bucks are gonna
Have
be
to,
with
right?
Kenny, and Kenny don't fuck with Jay White. I don't
But
see
Kenny's
the Bucks
gone.
going away from Kenny. But Kenny's gonna be back.
Eventually.
But do you
Well,
know
He was
how
supposed to be
long
back.
they-
like-
He was supposed to
Bro,
be back next
do you
month.
know- Do you know
Does it
how
look like
long
they're
they
splitting
draw out
into
these?
three groups?
Do you know how long they draw out these goddamn Elite and Bullet Club storylines? I love the motherfuckers.
But, like-
they love to turn this into a goddamn year-long fucking melodrama.
The payoff
I'd
will
rather
literally
that
be
than
next
it be done
January.
in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
The payoff will literally be next January at Wrestle
Plenty of time.
Kingdom.
They're gonna stretch it, and they're always gonna be upset with one another.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else anybody wants to add?
Not that I can think of.
We're not gonna talk about Cody at all.
What's there to add about Cody?
No, there's nothing here. We can-
I went to Raw last night. I don't care that Michael Cole's not on Raw. He wasn't there. I was. He's a bitch. Not a coincidence. Fellas, going
Wow.
into today's episode, Ethan decided to choose
Hold on.
PWG's. Oh my god, that one bothered
You're
you.
not gonna just fucking. you're just
That
gonna be
one
like, "All right,
bothered
that's
you
fine,
guys."
Just move on.
That one bothered y'all. I said what I said, and we move on. Ethan's decision for his birthday episode, he's the only one with a birthday episode, hopefully this one gets up, is PWG's Don't Sweat the Technique from April 3rd, 2015. From the American Legion Post 308 in Reseda, California. There's no attendance posted, but this was a sold-out standing room only show, as are most Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows for the past decade, really. Maybe even longer. We jump right into the action, and if you haven't seen Pro Wrestling Guerrilla before, the way that their DVDs work, they allow their wrestlers to come out to whatever song they want to come out to, and as a means to avoid copyright infringement, they use like house music, like generic house music, and use like a Tekken-like face-off screen to showcase the wrestlers in the match.
I just want to shout out to the band they use is a local band from Southern California, Barbarian Overlords.
I love that.
They're fucking sick.
Great.
They use their whole. That's the only band that Super Dragon will use for any of their shit. It's fucking cool.
I am stunned.
This is the greatest fucking name, though.
But
that
I know
is
it all, buddy.
so good.
Super Dragon probably heard
fucking thing you will not beat me on.
Super Dragon probably heard that band name and was like, "I'm using them for everything. Fuck it." Like,
Oh,
That's it. Fuck it.
He probably didn't even listen to it.
he's like, "That's just hard as
doesn't give a
fuck
fuck."
sounding."
My first note on that was like how sick the DIY feel is in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Like, it was cool to me. Our opening contest is Brian Cage, Mr. Get My Shit In, Brian Cage,
GMSI.
versus Biff Busick, with Excalibur and Rick Knox doing commentary at the commentary booth shaped like a table. It's good stuff. This match was fucking violent. It was a great way to start. Biff is literally a psycho throughout this, and he just tries outstriking Brian Cage, which like didn't fucking work for him. There was a blockbuster attempt from Biff that was like he was caught in midair by Brian Cage.
So sick.
And I stood up with my hands on my head. And now, mind you, I've watched this event a few times. Like, over the years, I've just watched it. Still pops me big. I forgot how good this era of Brian Cage was. I even said it to Ethan as I was watching this. Spoiler alert, that was maybe 2 hours ago that I messaged Ethan about that. This was, I don't know, man. It was fun. It was cool. Did anybody notice who was in the crowd other than Ethan? Did anybody see who was sitting in the crowd for this?
Ronda Rousey.
Shayna Baszler.
Well, Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke,
her name, and it just fucked me up.
of clean shaven, and it was kind of hard for me to see him, but Josh Barnett was behind Shayna Baszler. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the guy with
that.
He was the guy with the cut off like band shirt. Yeah.
Was he the guy that was gonna take, spoiler alert, Joey Ryan's lollipop? No, he was
That
not.
him. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's insane.
So in my notes for this match, I was like, "Is that fucking Josh Barnett?" And then by the time I got to that match, I was like, "That was Josh Barnett." Like the whole time.
I didn't even look at his face. I was just like, "Oh, this is a big doofus."
The whole thing is Shayna Baszler in particular debuted in professional wrestling like later this year in 2015, and was trained by Josh Barnett. Like that was like that's her coach. So I think he's brought them and was like, watch this wild fucking shit. And like they had the time of their lives. Oh
They
my
loved
God.
it.
Dude, that's the thing about this era of these shows. Every show, dude, I just remember sitting on fucking Twitter like, all right, let's see what happens tonight. And every show, it was someone else. Shayna and Ronda went to almost all of them. Josh Barnett was there a lot. And all these fucking celebrities, every show. Topanga from fucking Boy Meets World. Yeah. Random motherfuckers, dude.
Ronda chopped Biff when he faced, I think it was Adam Cole. Am I right on that?
Yeah,
like,
I think it was.
A few months before this.
Yeah.
He just gets
fuck,
walked
dude?
up and she's like, "What do I do?" And she fucking karate chops him in the throat, dude. It's one of my I will find it and I'll send it to you guys. It's like that. He's like it's miserable. Anyway,
better than anything she's done in the Fed.
This was a blast. And aside from
that's me for this week, bitches.
Y'all are monsters. I'm trying to fucking move on, fellas.
He snuck that shit in.
He did. He said anything better than the Fed. This was fine, other than the one fuck up on a weird gory special thing. It was a blast. I gave it a 3 stars flat. Patty, what'd you give it?
I gave it 3 stars flat as well. I like the match a lot. Dude, as Excalibur said, Brian Cage is a fucking machine, dude. Like,
Yes, baby.
it's just fucking,
He's
it
a
was
fucking
awesome, dude.
machine.
It was
Yeah.
so sick,
Best
dude.
commentator ever.
Ever.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Cortland, I'm
I give it
interested to
9.
hear. I'm interested to hear all of your stuff for this night.
All right. I'll just read you what I got. I have Dear God. Brian Cage power is unmatched around this time. The power bomb is very impressive from him. The Death Valley Driver-esque move that he does. looks
Yeah, where he like
devastating.
hooks him and like whoop whoop like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the
he-
crowd's like, I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was cool.
Even,
Like,
even Excalibur was like, what the fuck?
I love it.
There's a crazy catch from Cage multiple times in this match. There's a great set of leap over neck breakers from Biff. There's a scary spot, but impressive double power bomb saves the crowd before Cage no sells a German.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, he no sell
He
that German.
no-sold
That
it,
crowd
yeah.
was on their fucking feet with him, dude. As fast as he popped up, so did they. It's really impressive to see Brian Cage at this time because, like, you could see his stuff from Lucha Underground, and yeah, dude, it all looked really cool. But seeing him in a very small knit group and be able to get his shit in with people that are just as violent as he is, and they're not half his size and just trying to flip around him, it's really cool to see him wrestle a different style match in LA, honestly. So it's really sick, man.
what'd you give it?
Enjoyed it. I give it 3.
A 3 flat.
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting in the beginning. Excalibur makes note because Rick Knox is like, it's crazy that he just main evented in Mexico and he's
Yeah.
opening here in Reseda, and he's like, he's getting right back on a plane and flying back
Yep.
to Mexico
Yeah.
for these events.
That was insane.
Like,
That's
dude, his work rate at this point was
Worker.
fucking crazy.
Dude, crazy. That's why they had to run it first. I remember
It's-
I put it in my old review.
The
They
loops,
initially were
brother.
gonna have this higher up on the card, and they were like, "Well, Brian Cage, you got to go back to fucking Mexico. We got to run it first and get his ass out of here."
On a plane to Reseda, back on a plane. Like, that's
Right.
the fucking craziest loop, dude. Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ethan, what do you have on this?
I went 2 3/4 on it. Brian Cage is the first thing that noted to me was just like his fucking trajectory of being a normal looking human. And then here, like when I watched this in 2015, I was like, because I remember seeing Brian Cage in like 2010 when he was Chuck Taylor's storyline brother in PWG, and he was just a normal looking guy, right? And then like in 2015, I was like, damn, Brian Cage is fucking buff. And now I look at this and knowing what he looks like now, and I'm like, dude, he's gonna explode in 5 years. Like, and not in a good way. He's not gonna blow up. Brian Cage has peaked already. I'm talking this bitch is gonna physically explode.
Yeah, he's turning into
Something
Scott
is
Steiner,
wrong.
baby.
Buddy, and here's my fantasy booking that I told Casey. You know what I want Brian to do? Take this time off of AEW, come down in size a little bit, and come back looking like little Brian Cage Taylor from the 2010s.
Deflate, if you would.
Deflate, Brian. We're
Hey,
tired
that's-
of it.
bro.
That dude
But,
doesn't have a neck, and go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Go. What were you saying?
I will say it after you're done.
Okay. Yeah, this was a good match. Brian Cage probably worked one of fucking 30 or 35 of these fucking PWG openers. They were still hot at this time though. About a year from now, he really fucking wore out his welcome and he peaked, as I said before. But we're keeping it positive here because I love Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. 2 3/4. Biff debuted like, I don't know, Biff had been in PWG a while at this point, but he was in the middle of in a Twitter war with Super Dragon at this time. So everybody was really fucking backing Biff, like, oh, this dude's fucking calling out Super Dragon as soon as he fucking debuts. So him and Brian Cage killed one another, and it was great. 2 3/4, buddy.
I had a thought halfway through this, and I didn't write it down because I wasn't going to say it, but fuck it, we're here. Why does Brian Cage remind me of a very buff Teddy Hart?
They're both stupid, so.
I've never seen him in the same spot before. That's all I'm going to say. Cortland is already done with this podcast. He's like, I hate this. I'm done with it. Get us out of here. Casey, what'd you go on this, man?
Bro, I had so much fun watching this shit. I full transparency, I thanked Ethan in our podcast group chat for making us watch this.
It's fucking great, man. It is honestly fucking awesome.
Dude, this is the most insane fucking pay-per-view, especially off all the shit we watched. And to put in perspective, my birthday is the day after, or the day before Insurrection came out on our episode. So that's what I did for my birthday. So fuck all of you guys.
No.
Nobody, no.
Did you ever pick a birthday episode? Let's
No, 'cause
redeem
we weren't
that.
doing
We'll
that.
redeem that. We're gonna redeem that.
We weren't doing that yet. Honestly, we covered a whole bunch of it. No one brought up the Alabama Slamma that happened in this match. Bro, Biff got the
Dude.
shit beat out of him in the funnest ways, though. There was a pop-up powerbomb where he got folded in half.
Yes.
Like, his knees went through the ring.
After he
And
got
dude.
dropped, he got literally dropped on his head.
Yeah, it's way better than the one that what's his name took in that elimination chamber.
Oh, God. Oh,
You know what's crazy though? This crowd's so hot from the jump with the
Yeah.
mhm.
immediately just like every move felt like the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But I gave it 3 1/4 because I just had fun. And, like, yeah, that weird Death Valley driver thingamabob that he does.
It looked crazy.
More than
I was
one
like,
time throughout all of these matches, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, like out loud. Like I was just like, oh my God. So
What was the move that got a "You killed Biff" chant? Was it the power bomb?
it was the pop-up powerbomb where he folded him in half.
Dude, he lands and Biff is literally just like out. Just
He
like
hits it, and the camera angle changes, and you see fucking Shayna Baszler there. Just like, fuck yes. It's like she was like, he's dead.
there
So
was
much
also a
fun.
spot on the outside that I don't think anybody mentioned where like I think Biff hits like a double stomp to the back and almost breaks Brian Cage's foot. Dude, he grabs his ankle and I was like, "Oh, this is bad."
He like immediately grabs his leg, like, what the fuck?
And then almost immediately after, catches a flying grown man in the air
Dude,
in a
yeah.
suplex position.
Like, what?
And straight
My-
jackhammers his ass, like, dude.
Crazy.
My
So
favorite
rough.
part about all these PWG events is whenever they go to the outside, everyone stands up and they all collect their chair, and they're like, "This is my chair." And then
my chair.
my
Don't
favorite
try
part
to
is when they
take my
finally
shit.
get back into the ring. If you look at the crowd wherever they were, they're starting to point, and they're like, "Your chair goes there," and then I sit next to you. They start like if anyone watching this hasn't watched the PWG event, just look at random shit like that because it's so fun to
Yeah.
watch. Because they're just
And the
like
best part-
they police themselves so well.
When they have to readjust, I love it. And then by the time they've readjusted and gotten perfectly back seated, another dive comes right back.
Fucking shit.
Dude, and it's like they'll just hop up and just take off running. Oh shit! Oh shit!
They have to take their chairs because they're shitty fold-out chairs that will snap in half, so they have to hold on to them.
Pat,
And
is
the
this
thing
your
that's
first?
even-
Stakeouts in this match, or not in this match, but in the Tommy and Chris Hero match. That fake out is unbelievable. We'll get to
That crowd, dude, the people in the front row had to shit their pants.
You know
We'll
what
get
I
to
love?
it, but Excalibur even was like,
Got
that
you.
scared the fuck out of them.
Yes. Ethan, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say what I love too is I don't know if he did it on this show, but Excalibur sometimes when like one of the wrestlers would grab one of the chairs to use, he'll be like, "Hey, we gotta pay for the stop!" Like he'll literally yell over the commentary and be like, "We have to pay for those
Listen,
fucking chairs. If we
motherfucker!"
break 'em, quit breaking our fucking chairs."
That's coming out of your check.
Literally, it's so fucking funny.
Pat, is this the first PWG show that you've ever watched?
In its entirety, yes.
Okay,
I've watched
so
I've watched a shit ton of PWG matches. I've never
Okay.
watched
Start to
PWG.
finish.
if you keep watching these, you'll catch gems where people think they're tougher than like moving, and so they'll sit there and they'll just ground themselves like, and those dudes, they don't give a fuck. They'll be like, all right, he's gonna die now, and so they just
Reckless
take his
abandonment.
ass out. And I'm excited for you to keep watching those, and you'll see them because it's like random matches. You'll just be like, "Yeah, this is cool." Holy fuck, that guy's dead! Like, there's wild moments.
Crowd participation.
I hate Drake Younger with every fiber of my being, but there's a show where Drake Younger, Death Valley drivers Kevin Steen just into the crowd with no warning. He's just like, oh, he looks over, throws into everyone, onto everyone. It's like what?
I've been pissed as shit.
Moving forward, we move on to one of 3 matches that Ethan wants to lead off with. So, Ethan, this is going right to you. we have Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Trevor Lee with Rick Knox still at commentary with Excalibur. The floor is yours, sir.
So yeah, this is one of my favorite matches on the show. This is the match that made me a fan of Mike Bailey, who, oddly enough, because I haven't talked about him in like 2 or 3 years until we did the year-end show, and I picked him as my most underrated. But now it's just so wild that he's came back, and now we're doing a show. You know, it's full circle. It's just
everything.
crazy.
He's like a part of everything now.
Yeah, like when he was like absent to the fucking American wrestling world for 4 years, and now all of a sudden he's come back. But this was the match that made me a fan of his. He debuted the month prior against Biff Busick, who, if you have not seen the Biff Busick Mike Bailey matches, the PWG one's okay, but all their other matches in Canada and Beyond Wrestling, that's what put Busick on the map and Bailey, because Busick beat the dog shit out of Speedball every match, and Bailey got the dog shit beat out of him. So everyone was like, "Man, we want to see this guy. Is he okay?" Like, but fuck. And Trevor Lee. Oh, Trevor Lee here.
Trevor Lee.
You know,
I fucking love
guys,
Trevor Lee.
what happened? What happened to our Carolina King?
You know what fucking happened.
We have 2 Carolina Kings on this show.
I was gonna
Let's not
make a
forget.
mention of that. I was like, the Carolinas got fucking all of the love
We
at
have
this event.
2
Holy
kings,
shit!
And what I love too, dude, like what PWG did is they brought in all the Carolina Kings together. They fucking debuted Cedric Alexander, Trevor Lee, and Andrew Everett in a 3-way a year prior to this. Fucking insane match. But back to what we're talking here. Trevor Lee, like, when I first watched Trevor Lee when he came up, he did cool shit. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But now going back, I'm starting to see how good he was actually getting. Because here, he does cool spots. And honestly, what makes this match is the spots. But also, he became a really good bully. Like, when his last little bit of being an indie guy, became such a dick. And here you kind of see it because he wears down Bailey a lot more. You know, Bailey's trying to hit his shit, but Trevor Lee would grab a hold, you know what I mean? And just, these 2 guys really, though, just wanted to go out there and, what are you laughing at, Mike?
Dude, the Trevor Lee that happened at the end of PWG might be my favorite thing in the world. Because wasn't he working for Impact? And then he would just show up on PWG and be like,
Yeah.
I'm making TV money. I'm making TV money. And he would just shit talk everybody there. He's like, oh, y'all are garbage. You're not on TV. It was like, I'm telling you, the end of Trevor Lee on the Indies is fucking wild.
I feel like
fucking
that's
love
what
him
sent
so
him
much.
down the fucking road of becoming the god-awful shit he is now with Cameron Grimes. He just went nuts and became Cameron Grimes.
Dude, it's
And, like,
honestly
really-
hilarious.
They
It's
literally were
super
like, can
funny.
you do what you? They were like, can you do what you're doing, but just like Ted DiBiase it? And he was like, yeah, I can do that. And then he
Hell
did.
yeah, bud, yeah. mhm.
But
They pitched him this idea that he's like, what ideas you got for me in NXT? And they're like, you ever seen the movie Joe Dirt? I need you to act like Joe Dirt with money.
Won the lottery.
Joe
Dirt
Dirt
won the lottery.
Put some
Yes.
respect on it.
He said, hell
We're
yeah,
gonna-
I'm going to wear a fucking leather blazer, baby. Let's get it. Like, he's
Life's
just
a
fucking-
garden, dig it.
it's honestly...
Go ahead, Ethan. I'm sorry. We got off track.
No, you're good. It's fucking annoys me how fucking worthless he is now. Like, I love that dude. And there's
You just,
bro, they're-
we built him up, and you're just like, fuck that. Like, just
Dude,
tearing him
tell me
down.
one thing. Tell me, I mean, he's done some alright stuff, but like, bro, why did you have to put that stupid hat on the fucker? Just let him fucking do his shit.
Yeah.
We're not here to shit talk Cameron Grimes. We're here to praise Trevor Lee.
We're here to praise our king.
Hey,
But nah,
positivity.
all I gotta
That's right.
say is the fucking reverse Rana on the fucking apron.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
One of my favorite spots of all time.
Cortland is not happy.
Again, if that's not enough, the shooting star knee drop to the goddamn floor.
Yeah.
I had to rewind that shit.
I watched
like,
it 6
what?
times. 6 times.
And the dirt and grime under Mike Bailey's bare feet from walking around that Legion
Dirty
stage
feet.
wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, they were,
I want-
chanting dirty
They were
feet.
talking some shit. I just want to let everyone know. So he does a reverse Rana onto the apron, does the shooting star to the knees, and then gets up and the crowd goes one more time, and he is like, "What the fuck? No!"
He's like, and they boo him. Then he's like, "No, like fucking chill. I almost killed this guy twice." And they're like, "Boo!" Like, "Fuck you!" Like,
There's a guy when he does the reverse run. So there's a guy in the crowd that has like a pitcher of water. He has like long ass hair.
Yeah.
And when
On
he
the
does
left?
reverse run,
on the left.
on the left side, when he does the reverse run, this dude is like staring at him like, "Dude, you're a fucking psycho."
Yes,
And then
I
they
saw
start
that.
chanting for him to do it one more time, and that dude looks at him, he's like, "No."
Dude, what I love too is when they start chanting one more time, Mike Bailey looks at Rick Knox. It's like he's thinking about it. He's like,
Nah.
he's like, "I'm picking you up and throwing you back in the ring. Why would I do this twice?" But nah, dude, I love this fucking match.
It's fucking sick, dude.
I could watch this over and over. It's never gonna get old because to me, it's just two young guys that are getting the shot. You know, Trevor Lee had been there for about a year, but Mike Bailey's only 2 events in. It's his first big showing in America, and you know Trevor Lee was game to fucking go all fucking out with this shit. And this is the best example of a good fucking indie spot fest. Like they just fucking killed this shit. 4 stars. One of my favorite matches on this show. Mike Bailey for fucking ever. I will see you in Dallas. And we will get a picture, and I will put on a goddamn karate outfit with your bitch ass.
Yes, I want you in. I actually want you in the same gi that Ronda Rousey was in at Elimination Chamber.
Don't do this to me.
Wrong fraud, Van Dam.
Oh God.
I exist on this fucking podcast exclusively to pop Casey as often as I can. That's what I'm here for.
Every episode.
Ethan, who are you passing it off to?
I'm gonna go to Casey because we talked about this earlier. So
Yeah.
take it away.
So there's a couple of things, and it just kind of goes off of how much we all love Trevor Lee. I wrote it as Irish Whiplash. I don't know why people don't do it anymore, where they fucking throw their own body into the into whipping someone into a corner. Like he launches himself after Mike Bailey. It's like we're going together. And like saying what you were saying, I was like, there's like Trevor Lee's the only person that could put someone in a headlock, take their hair tie out of their ponytail, and then put it onto his wrist so he doesn't lose his hair tie while still holding a headlock. And I was like, while watching him, I'm like, is he taking out his fucking ponytail right now? I was like, yeah, he is. Obviously the reverse Rana spot. At one point, Mike Bailey starts doing every karate kick known to man, and I wrote Mike Bailey's a fucking Power Ranger. Like I had so much fun with this match. I feel like it's like they got their shit in, they did spots, but like they didn't overdo it like another match did in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I think it's why I rated it so high. I gave it 4 1/4. But this is my first ever Mike Bailey match. I've never seen him wrestle before, so like I was like, this is fucking insane.
And one thing on the kicks, what I love is like, just because I watched this when it came out, and it's those moments where I get chills because it's like seeing that crowd accept someone new is such a cool experience, and seeing him start doing those karate kicks and everyone just raise up and just clap. Just from that one moment, it's like you're seeing this guy who's from fucking Canada who worked all these small indies with like 30, 40 people there for 4 and 5 years, getting his ass beat by Kevin Steen and shit. And now he's coming down here in the hottest indie in the fucking world, and they're all on their feet for this dude. Like, it's just so sick, man.
So good.
Yeah. Casey, who you passing off to?
Let's give it to you, Mike.
Oh man. It's important that you understand the context here. And the context is that Trevor Lee is 21 and Mike Bailey is 24.
Goodness.
Excalibur says in the beginning, this was showcasing the future of professional wrestling. And at the time, it fucking was. Like, it's the best showcase for like young and upcomers, like young and upcoming wrestlers that you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Excalibur... During the Poison Ronda to the outside, shooting star knees to the back of Trevor Lee, which is, I think that one's probably the tougher of the two for me to watch because Mike Bailey just lands directly the fuck on him. Excalibur was me. like just screaming. I just like
Yes.
incoherent yelling.
The screech, dude.
Ah!
That
Yeah.
spot would not be the same without the screech. Let's be
It's
honest.
so good. Trevor Lee is a god, man. He's so fucking good. Nobody said the finish of this. Lee finally gets the best of Speedball after getting his knees up to block a shooting star press, which was immediately after the fucking shooting star knees. And then he lands a nasty small package driver, which was fucking awesome.
It's a really
4-3.
It's a knee to a small package to the small package driver into like the small package pit. It's the cleanest little maneuver I've seen in a minute.
It's like rolling a joint, man.
Trevor Lee was winning like matches he shouldn't be winning with small packages, and I feel like it eventually just turned into the small package driver. So it was cool. I went 4 stars flat on it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Oh man, I'm gonna save the best for last year. Pat, what you want? What you got?
I went 4 1/4, bro. I
Good
fucking
shit.
love this match, dude.
Good shit.
It's funny, earlier when I was watching it at work and then like the whole thing in the group chat happened or whatever, I was watching this match again, and I've tried to watch this pay-per-view 3 times, but I can't get past this match because I just rewinded a bunch of I fucking love it, dude. It's fucking awesome, dude. Definitely, I gotta watch a lot more Mike Bailey matches. It's crazy to see where they are now in their lives. You know, Mike Bailey just getting signed with Impact, fucking Cameron Grimes. I'm not saying he's shelved, but you know how it's going out there in the 2.0 world.
He was vibing there for a while, though.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$1 million
having,
man.
like that $1 million championship.
Yeah.
ordeal.
Those
that shit
those
was-
promos from him were
That shit was funny as shit, man. It was
Unhinged.
Say what you want. Oh
Just
my-
throwing money over himself. He said, "Let it rain on me."
Honestly, him doing that whole thing right when like Dogecoin started taking off and everyone was saying to the moon.
Nobody
Like,
else was
it-
doing that.
It
Nobody else could
literally-
do it.
It was literally like destiny for him for that to be bestowed on him, where he was like, "I got something," and it's everyone
that shit was
saying
good
it.
shit, man.
You know, all the shitty comments I'll have aside, it literally is the most like expected trajectory for him. Like from what he started as, and then what he ended up becoming. Like Mike said at the end of his PWG run, it's like Cameron Grimes is like what you would expect him to be right now. To be honest,
The new
I just have to. They were throwing shit in the ring at him when one of his last PWG shows. He just gets to Mike and goes, "Hey, Rick Knox, get in here and get this shit out of my ring." And Rick Knox is picking the shit up, and he's like, "I'm trying. Like, I'm picking the shit up." It's just so funny.
he basically, I didn't
feel
realize,
like you
I
did.
didn't realize that none of us
Good
thought
shit.
about this. He fucking is just Jamie Noble. He's just a
He is.
he's just
Give him
he's the
Nitty.
new generation.
He's above Jamie Noble though. Trevor Lee
Yeah.
kind of swole up.
It's the pool, not the above ground one.
Oh my god! Don't do this to me. Cortland, what do you have?
I went 4 stars on this match. I think it's really cool. Like y'all said, what can be said that hasn't been said already? They're both great talent. It's really cool to see Mike Bailey in Impact. He just competed at their No Surrender pay-per-view this past weekend. It's really cool to see him doing stuff, and I really enjoyed this, just seeing the trajectory of where they're at. These guys just beat the shit out of each other, man, and it's a hell of a place to put this match on this card. It fit really well. The vibe of this crowd ate this shit up. They really enjoyed it. So yeah, man, there's not a single bad thing to say other than the fact they shouldn't be doing fucking first Ranas on an apron. Like, I just don't.
Stop being such a coward.
It was fucking insane.
Like, don't you want to walk one day?
I was just like, oh my god.
Like,
I
just
forgot
wanna
about it
know-
actually. I had
it's
forgotten
like,
that
if
was a
there's
spot.
If there's a handbook in pro wrestling, they didn't put that shit in there because they didn't think they had to. You know, like, can't you read, mister? Don't do that.
I just want to know
Don't do.
how the conversation went backstage when they were like, "All right, so we're gonna do this reverse Rana," like on the apron. Like,
Yeah.
how do you even? Who brought that idea?
So we
Yeah.
go to the apron, right? Okay, and then I'm gonna give you a reverse Rana. You're gonna do what?
You're gonna fucking excuse me?
This isn't the only crazy reverse Rana in this card.
That's the fucked up part. It's not the only one.
And that's another thing about PWG before we get any further. Like, it's so hard to rate these matches when you compare it to other pro wrestling because there is nothing like this, right? So like,
this is proving grounds, baby.
Oh man,
any of these matches, like if this Mike Bailey and Trevor Lee match happened on an NXT 2.0 right now, that would probably get the highest rating that company is going to get.
Oh my god, 10 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
Exactly, but here it's like you look at the rest of this card and it's like, but this shit's amazing, but there's two matches that are potentially better than
but
this.
it wasn't the best match, right?
But it's not the best match, you know? So it's really hard to like rate some of these matches because like they deserve their own spotlight.
Yeah.
But there's just so much other great shit on it. It's hard to
legendary shit, man.
You know,
and
hard to compare them, but
it's hard for me too because like, and not to say wrestling today is worse or anything, but like when I look at the indies, PWG even nowadays, they don't have cards like this anymore. That's just the truth. Like they've lost the Reseda vibe, and like card like this where you've got 3 or 4 matches that are 4 stars plus, I think objectively, it's like shit was hot. Shit was hot. But
Different. Just a
onward
a golden time.
So Mike, you want me to take the next one real quick?
This is 2 out of 3 that you wanted. So
it's 2 out of the 3 that I wanted. So
I'm not even gonna say his name.
I drank some coffee before this.
I'm gonna have more.
And
you remember the last time he drank coffee, right, fellas?
No. This is one of my favorite shows we're ever gonna do. I'm a happy camper. I was all day at work. I wasn't working. I was standing back there texting all of these guys about this damn show. But the one thing that we all collectively want to say right now, fuck more than Doug Furness, more than Michael Cole,
more than Jason,
fuck you, Joseph Ryan, you fake Christian motherfucker trying to get redemption on Twitter, having ass. I ain't got no time for your bitch ass. You fucking get canceled. You get called out for the perverted shit you've been doing for years. You were a mediocre wrestler. The only thing that saved your career was Candice fucking LeRae. And you fucking took that and took advantage of that shit and did all the shit that everyone watching this probably knows you did. And if you don't, Google him. I don't have no good words to say about him, but unfortunately we're going to have to mention him a little bit here. This ain't even the coffee talking. This is Basic Bean right here.
Oh.
Basic Bean.
Oh man.
Down to the bones, buddy. So yes, Joey Ryan, I don't like you. You had one good match, the Iron match with Super Dragon in 2004 that no one here has seen and not many people have seen. So basically it's work. Fuck you. So
now that that's out the way.
Now that this is out of the way, we had a match here.
What's the match?
Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae, the world's cutest tag team, personal favorite of mine, versus the Beaver Boys, a team that I didn't really care for during their indie run. We got John Silver and Alex Reynolds. But I love this match. I love that Joey Ryan got his ass beat the whole time, even though it was just to build towards the Candice LeRae hot tag.
The whole match.
The whole fucking thing. Also, John Silver in a Taylor Swift or Die t-shirt. Did anyone notice that?
Yeah. He's my favorite part of this whole match.
Dude, literally. Yeah, I mean, I said I love this match. I mean, it was fun for what it was. Watching this back and looking where John Silver and Alex Reynolds are now, and even where Candice is now, it's just kind of crazy, like where they all in. Silver and Reynolds are in one of the most popular teams in modern or units in modern wrestling, and you know Candice has had great success over at WWE. It's just one
Joey
of those
Ryan's sitting there preaching at a Baptist church on Sundays.
Yeah, Joey Ryan's looking for everyone to give him forgiveness that Christ couldn't give him, I guess. So, sorry. So, yes, I love this match. Joey gets beat up the whole match. I mean, Joey had easy work when he teamed with Candice because Candice is over as fuck. You know, she was the only woman that wrestled in PWG besides a rare Lufisto match in the whole entirety of the company. Super Dragon was just like, we got Candice. I don't want to bring other women, which they've been critiqued for, especially in modern times. I think they should bring more women in. It shouldn't be just a fucking dick fest out there, especially when, never mind. Anyways, So Candace is really special to the Reseda audience, and I just love her hot tags. You know, Joey gets beat up, Candace comes in, and what I love about this, all the callbacks she does in her comeback. You know, she does the El Generico assisted, you know, springboard thing. She does the Violence Party, which is an ode to Super Dragon, and to cap it all, she hits the best move in professional wrestling, the balls plex, on fucking, can't remember if it was Silver or Reynolds, one or the other.
John Silver.
So yeah, bud, it was a blast. I went 3 stars flat. The only thing Joey Ryan did good in this was the only thing he did good in any match post 2005 was the crazy little dive he always would do outside into the chairs. That was the only little cool move he ever did. He always did it.
Feed.
And he fed, but fuck him.
Who are you passing off to?
I'm gonna pass off to
who?
To Cortland. You didn't hear me?
Sorry.
I didn't.
Sorry.
It was like 2.
Oh, my bad.
And then it just never happened.
I said it, and then I was like, why are they looking at me?
We were just waiting around. It's
Go
fine.
on.
This is one of those occasions where, like, one of the people and participants involved in the match overweighs the match itself. I'm sure it deserves more than what I gave it. I gave this match 2.25. Candace is fantastic in this match. Her dives are unbelievable. She takes better bumps than most men, let's be honest. There's a crazy spot. They have her in a vertical suplex on the outside, and then John Silver does a running dive and hits her. And there's males that are terrified of doing that spot, and she did it fucking to perfection. It looked great. I will shout out Joey Ryan on the simple fact that he fed really well in this match. Like Mike said, he made the hot tags feel important. And that's all you could really want from a tag match, you know, cutting the ring in half, waiting for that face to get the hot tag. They finally have the explosion. You have your near falls. You have your heel almost get a great pin. They do a sneak. They did the whole run, you know, but Joey Ryan's bullshit weighs a lot into this match for me. It's hard for me to watch any of his product. Especially, it would be one thing if, like, the bullshit you did, obviously you're a fucking horrendous person. But, like, have any other character, and I could probably get through a match, and, like, it probably wouldn't even cross my mind immediately. I'd think of it later, but I'd be ignored by it. But 75% of your spots are all sexual innuendos. It's all just bullshit, man. You're just a fucking walking pedo.
And you can't tell me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even if you had done these things and had a different character, but like, bro, your whole gimmick was you were a sleazebag, dude, and like you did problematic shit your whole career. It's not. You have no ground to stand on. Like, if your performance art is you doing the shit that you actually did in real life, like, clearly you had intent with all this.
I mean, it's the exact same reasons why we shit on Jerry Lawler's, because that's not an act. That's you as a fucking human being. You're a scumbag.
Yes.
You know?
Straight up.
Cortland, who are you passing off to, sir?
I'll give it to Pat.
I gave I can't even talk, bro.
Scared to give a rating now.
I would give it 2, Pat.
No, dude, don't.
I gave it 3 stars, literally, for Candice LeRae.
She deserves
3
that shit.
stars. She deserves 3 stars. She got her fucking ass whooped this match, and honestly, in my opinion, did the most work out of any person. And that's really all I gotta really fucking say about that. That's really it. Also, I fuck with John Silver, but I fuck with John Silver. That's my nigga.
That is a very strong individual.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That man is strong.
When he yelled at the crowd at one point, I fucking popped. I'm fucking jacked.
So I actually made a note of that, because he yells that shit at Anna Jay all the time. He's like, Anna, I'm freaking jacked, baby. I didn't realize he was screaming that 7 years ago. And I put that in my notes. Oh man,
I love John Silver.
What a king.
I think I said it on here before, but like his little thing on being the elite right now with Jade Cargill is one of the funniest.
Where he's like,
she does
that
anything
bitch, Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill.
So funny. Pat, anything else you'd like to add before we get over to Casey?
Not much. Oh yeah, they ejaculated on the lollipop. That shit was
I was gonna get to that too because I did write it down. Unfortunately,
My first note is the quote that says he just ejaculated on that lollipop.
oh my god.
And fucking Excalibur fucking called it.
That's a quote from him.
Excalibur will call any spot.
All of it.
That's the issue. Is I think Excalibur has to catch himself while he's on national television now.
That's what I'm
he's like,
saying.
he's about to. Never mind. Like he's like always in the middle of like.
It's like if you put it on the prompter, Ron
I will read it. Casey, go ahead.
God damn it! Now I just got that stuck in my head.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. So yeah, we literally Excalibur saying literally anything that comes to mind. During Candace's first hot tag, Shayna Baszler loses her fucking mind. She like that whole little like UFC like section was just like yes. Like they were ready to go in the ring and help. At one point, I think it's during the second hot tag that she gets, Silver just fucking the stiffest right hand to fucking Candace, and Excalibur goes, "Oh, what a dick."
Dude, sometimes I wonder at this point in time, did Candace just tell everyone she faced, all right, hit me as hard as you can, be stiff.
Actually beat my ass.
Yeah, like literally, because like everyone was overly. I've seen them go softer on each other than her. They always laid it.
Bro, she got fucking starched.
It doesn't get
One
better.
of those like Mae Young things where it's like, hey, pussy, you either hit me like you're gonna hit me or don't fucking do it at all.
Yeah, like.
Because like that's what Bubba said. Like fuck Bubba, but like he said that Mae Young like cornered him in the locker room and was like, "Hey bud, next time you do that shit, you do it for real. Like don't be pussyfooting around. I'll knock your ass out."
You
Like,
fucking
Can you imagine
power
an
bomb me off the
80-year-old
stage, you fucking pussy.
You better fucking break my neck, actually, you bitch.
He said, "Bitch, bet 10 feet."
There was a spot, I don't know the exact words, but Silver's going in on Joey Ryan, and I think he literally calls him like a fucking pussy motherfucker. Like while hitting
he hits him.
he's
He
hitting
hits
him.
him, yeah.
He's like, "Come on, you pussy motherfucker!" And like hits him again. I was like, "This is my favorite person right now." I was like, Silver's like a couple inches shorter. He looks like a tiny little fire hydrant, and he is just unchained at this point.
It's just like wild because I never noticed this much personality from Silver back in the day. But now that I know he's that way, I'm looking at him. And that's something I noted too. Like, if I would have known more about John Silver in this point in time, I probably fucking love the Beaver Boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also to slightly correct, because I think she actually does it twice, but she does an avalanche ballplex from like the top turnbuckle. And like for all of the things that I just mentioned, obviously fuck Joey Ryan forever, but 3 1/4. Like this is so much fun. It's all the dumb shit that happened where I'm just like, this was enjoyable. Like he's garbage. He got the shit beat out of him. Fuck it.
This card needed this match. You just got two crazy, like fast-paced, hard-hitting singles matches, and you needed something to lighten the mood to carry people through to the next match. And this is definitely the best.
Next match is
Yeah, and they like to start the match off with Joey Ryan's antics of like the lollipop thing. Like for those that don't know, Joey Ryan would come out with a lollipop in his mouth, and in Reseda specifically at PWG shows, they would always have a male member of the audience take the lollipop from Joey Ryan into their mouth.
Yes.
And it would always get a "you sick fuck" chant. Like that was the spot. Turns out that was Josh Barnett that was about to do that, which blows my mind.
Wild.
The
creator
put the lollipop in his pants.
So it would depend on where he would go. He would put in his, when he started doing like the sweet shit music with it, he would put it in his pants, but at certain places he would give it to someone in the crowd. But yeah, once again, this is
at Lucha, he's at the top of the steps of Lucha, right? Like walking down to the ring. and he has like a 10, 12-minute match, and at the steps, he puts it in his pants.
Oh.
Wins the match, goes all the way back up, pulls it out, and puts it in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, you just wrestled in the hottest room in LA.
I was like hoping he had like a little Ziploc bag, like taped
like
to
he's
his
putting it in a
tights.
Ziploc-y.
and put it in
Yeah.
there. But like once again to put in perspective, this is Josh Barnett in 2015. I believe he was still an active UFC fighter. This is the creator of fucking Bloodsport. A Bloodsport.
He's not the
event.
creator.
Or is
He's
he
not the creator of Bloodsport.
Is it just his? Is
It,
just
it was
doing now?
Matt Riddle's Bloodsport.
Oh, was it
before
Matt
Josh
Riddle's?
Barnett.
Okay, so
yeah.
he's the current Josh Barnett's Bloodsport
yeah.
event, like, and he's like,
Which
yeah,
is
I'll
the-
take a fucking
which is the-
lollipop. That's fine.
the literal toughest fucking wrestling event you're gonna find since like Pancrase was a
Yeah.
thing. Like
no
it's
ropes,
fucking
just
nuts.
beating the shit out. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
Crazy.
like, yeah, I'll take that fucking blow pop in the mouth. It's fine.
Reynolds cutting him off and getting booed it's like
Mhm.
think about that in 2022 perspective, and
Dude.
he's the biggest fucking face in the company.
They jump Ryan, he takes it, puts the lollipop on the ground, and just gives like a jerking off motion, and is like,
I said I don't even want to comment on the imaginary coming on the lollipop, Silver eating the lollipop bullshit. I have Alex Silver looking like a mom named Karen with that haircut. Silver and Reynolds were really, really good as a tag team. The suplex crossbody that you guys already touched on was fucking great. There's the note of I didn't realize that John Silver was screaming "I'm freaking jacked, baby" back in 2015, but he was. And Candice LeRae is a queen. She deserves the world. I went 3 1/4. I thought it was great. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
The next match was, boy oh boy, was it a doozy. We get that fun little spot, and we get a feel-good moment with Candice LeRae beating the shit out of people after getting her ass whooped, rather. And we go right into a literal fist fight, as close as you're going to get. We get Tommy End versus Chris Hero. This is a match specifically that I've probably watched 4 or 5 times, just like because I enjoy it. And I still don't remember it being as good as it was this time around.
Dude.
It's one of those things that ages like wine, man. It just gets better and better with time. Chris Hero was 2 years off, like 2 years out from his first release from WWE. So this is post WWE Chris Hero. And this is Tommy End's second PWG appearance, which happened 9 years prior when PWG was over in Germany. So he's still very, very new here. And they beat the dog shit out of each other. I don't have a ton of notes on this because I was like literally glued to my seat for it. But the striking exchanges were fucking vicious. Everything that they did made like it was beyond wrestling and more like even their positioning was important in this. And like everything felt monumental throughout this. It was a methodical match. They beat the dog shit out of each other. There was a Gotch-style pile driver that Chris Hero hits that, like, literally fucking destroyed Tommy End. Looked awesome for a near fall, and I was about to fall out, and I already knew how this match ended. Tommy shows no quit, heading into the tail end of it, and he's, like, smiling at him like he wants more, gets the shit beaten out of him, and then Hero wins via tombstone pile driver. I went 4.5, fellas. This was as good as good's gonna get. I already gave it to Patty, so let's give it... I'm saving Cortland a tag team match that's later on that I think he's going to like because of Josh Alexander. I'm going to pass that to Casey for now.
First and foremost, me and Ethan had probably like an hour-long conversation about how great Chris Hero is. I fucking love him.
Yes.
Second of all, in case no one knew this, Tommy End used to be in a tag team called the Sumerian Death Squad.
Yes.
And it's the hardest fucking tag team name anyone will ever come up with. Don't even fucking try.
Don't even try. This shit is hard as nails.
Dude.
Yeah, these two beat the shit out of each other. End takes 2 chops back to back, which sound brutal, and in return kicks Chris Hero square across the chest. And I almost passed out because Chris Hero has to get down on one knee and goes, Jesus. He was like, oh, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah, he
that
took
was...
the breath out of him.
He was like,
He was like, I laid those chops on a little too thick. That motherfucker rocked me.
He hits it, and then Tommy goes, "Yeah, that fucking hurt, didn't it?" And he was like, "Ah, it hurt."
I
a
just
lot."
watched Cortland. I watched Cortland relive the moment in his mind because I watched his eyes just go, oh, like, just like, oh man, that was bad. Like
Yeah.
rewatching it.
That got an
Oh, dude, it sucked.
audible Jesus from me. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yes.
Honestly, the only other note I have is death by fucking elbow, 4.5.
Oh Jesus, it was good. Cortland, what do you have for me, my friend?
I loved this match, man.
I knew
this
you
is one
would.
of those- This is one of those matches that you love to see Tommy End have a little more personality, a little more freedom to do what he wants to do, and he can kind of like just be himself and not be like this overly mysterious character, like larger than life character, right? So like he just gets to be Tommy End. I love how much his striking is the story of this match. I really wish that AEW or really WWE and NXT at the time sold his kicks as the way that Chris Hero sold them on this night. The feeling out process in the beginning of him just like trying to dodge every kick possible because he knew it would be his detriment in the end. It just is so much to this match that like you could pick at for days, right? These discus elbows were absolutely insane. The response with the kicks were incredible. Both pile drivers in this match, the first one particularly really gets me. It's like they were waiting for everyone in the room to like take a second to like watch the spot that's about to happen.
Yep.
You know, and like you don't see it a lot where someone's like going for that power bomb or the pile driver position, and they're trying to lift, and your opponent's spreading the legs, he's stopping it. He drops a knee to slow the match down. And you see that like just that slight rotation over where he grabs in between the legs and lifts him for this sit down.
Chris Hero.
Dude, and it just looks great, man. You had the whole crowd losing their shit for this spot.
Yeah.
The pile driver in the end is probably one of the best pile drivers I've seen delivered in a long time because doing a like essentially a tombstone pile driver, doing it like that, most times you're just going to hold on to like right at the hip line and you're going to drop. But like when you drop, you're still holding them tight to your chest so their head doesn't just hit the mat. His knees hit and he just lets go of them. So like Tommy's head just slides to the mat. Like it's about like half at the speed that he was dropping at, of course, but like he still hits enough to where like he hits in this position to where his body leans against Chris Hero as he's going down, and it just makes it look. It's just one of those things that's like, I say it all the time, man. If you can make pro wrestling look real, I'm going to buy into it over and over and over again. This is a 4.5-star match for me. And
Yes.
a special shout out to the discus haluva kick.
Oh my god,
Chris Hero,
Bro.
Oh man.
Bro.
Because, like, they're just back and trading back. And man, just the pile of combinations of these elbow drop, not elbow drops, these elbow strikes, these discus elbows. You get Tommy End draped on the ropes, and Excalibur believes he's about to come back. He even says like, "Oh, and here he comes." And he's like, "But wait, is he stunned?" And he hits him again, and he drops to a knee. Chris Hero rips the elbow pad off, hits it again, loud as hell, and he just falls into himself. And it's another false finish, man. And it just
Like
every false finish in this match just gets everyone beat every single damn time, man. And it's hard to do that. It's really hard to get people that invested after your 10th or 11th, 12th near fall. And they fucking did it, man. They told the story. Tommy End gets the much love at the end of the match.
had to get a slap in the face to come back.
Yeah,
That crowd was eating out of the palm of their hands too, man.
Yeah, dude. You get the crowd chanting, "Please come back."
Mhm.
Like, he left an impression on this crowd that lives with PWG forever.
Yeah.
And this match will live with me forever, man. It's definitely one to put on the list when you look at these guys and what matches have they done that stand the test of time. It's going to be this one.
Pat.
Sorry, that was a lot. But
No, man.
Love it.
Look, I went 4.5 stars as well. I can't really add too much to what you just said. You kind of just, it's fucking flawless, man. Like, oh my God, dude. Like, me and Corlin watch a lot of wrestling together. Obviously,
we ran this match 3 times.
Literally, and each time, we watch shit. We'll be talking, we cracking jokes, doing whatever. Each time we watch this match, it was silence. Just glued to the seat, just like, oh my God, what the fuck? Yeah. Oh my God. Like, it was just...
Dude, and Excalibur was calling him too. Mm-hmm. Half of these spots, he's like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's dead. Like, it's great, man. It's just really good calls. It's a really solid match. You cannot ask for a better outing between the two. Mid-card match.
Yep.
On a stacked card like this.
Mid-card match, mind you.
Yeah.
This could main event anywhere.
Mid-card talent, and they prove it every single damn time. And it's crazy when you think about it. Sorry again, but like you think about them going to NXT and they have this match where like whenever he came, like Alistair shows up there and people get really are like, why is he having this match with Chris Hero? It's like because you didn't watch this match.
Yeah.
That's why you aren't excited to see Cassius Ohno have a match with somebody.
If you guys don't know, we really like this match in this house.
Before I pass it to Ethan, bless you there, Casey. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I saw it.
Oh, I know. They got a mute button.
Okay, so we have 4.5s across the board. Ethan.
Yep.
Ethan?
Don't you fuck this up.
It doesn't happen often, Ethan.
Live.
It's going to happen again. It's going to happen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. A lot of stuff's been said, so I don't know where to fully start, but the 2 things I wanted to touch on that haven't been is Chris Hero and his importance to just wrestling in the last 10 to 20 years. Like, Chris Hero, he fell short in his WWE runs. He's had these issues with his weight and all this shit, but this guy, especially here, he had the first WWE run and he left, and dude, admittedly 2014, he was kind of finding his footing again, it felt like, but here in 2015, he basically went through and made stars all year. And the thing about Tommy End is, like Mike said, he wrestled for PWG in 2006 in Germany, and ironically enough, wrestled Excalibur on that show, which is fucking hilarious.
Didn't Excalibur mention
he
that?
comments that. He was like, he was only on here once, and he was like, it was against me.
And so Tommy End hadn't been to America that much. I know CZW brought their best of the best tournament the year prior, but this match propelled Tommy End to what we see now. PWG brought him in. Chris Hero had this match with him. Next thing you know, Tommy End's in Evolve, and we know what Evolve leads to, NXT, and now here we are with AEW. So I think this is just an important match. On top of it being fucking phenomenal, what puts it over the top and given my rating that I give is like, this is an important match. Like this sent Tommy End over the top. Like, think if he never got this chance to come work in PWG in America, would he have ever ended up, would Gabe would have seen him, brought him to Evolve? Would he ended up in NXT, or would he have just worked, over in Germany and England and everything, like he did for fucking almost 10 years? It's just crazy how special these certain matches and moments are. And just Chris Hero, man, like, I know me and Casey are both, marks for Chris Hero, but just the dude's, yes, like, he just can do everything. He, just like Cesaro. But, like, the thing about Chris Hero, though, is Chris Hero can tell so much more story. And he can work lucha, technical, strikes. He can be the bully. He can be the fucking hero, no pun intended. Like, he can work under. He can... And just like later, when we see how he commentates the main event, that shows you how he thinks about his own match. You know what I mean? He looks at all the things. And he wanted to put Tommy over here hard. And it shows. And I just love the way they did the match with starting off. It's just kind of like, because sometimes people get thrown off by no selling. But here I just love it because it's like the match is sort of based around, all right, let's see what you can take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this at you. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a difference between 2 strikers being like, who's going to last the longest? And then it just being a spot fest of, I'm not going to sell your shit. I just care about mine. Like, these are 2 dudes that are making each other look
Yes.
insanely strong and unbelievable resilience, and they both did it. My last thing about Chris Hero, why I love him, is because he's one of the first names in independent wrestling that I remember hearing when I was younger. Like when you have your Bryan Danielson, you have your Christopher Daniels, your AJ Styles, and then I had Chris Hero, and it was like, what a name! And because of Chris Hero, I found people like Colt Cabana. I found CM Punk. I found the Raven CM Punk dog collar match, and it all stems from me literally just trying to find footage of Chris Hero. So like, it's a very special place in my heart, and to see this match happen where it's like he's a vet now, and then you have Tommy End, who is arguably one of my favorite current wrestlers right now in the last decade, probably. It's just a special match, man. I can't believe that I haven't watched it until now.
Yeah, it's just Chris Hero, man. And my thing that I think about too is just I want him to come back to wrestling. Like the dude hasn't wrestled a match in 2 years. And the thing about Chris that's so cool is he's a fucking little wrestling encyclopedia. So my thing is I'm just a fan of the guy because he does shoot interviews and stuff now, and he has a whole podcast and stuff. He was on Conrad's thing for a little bit also, wasn't he? He has like a show with Conrad Thompson and shit on his little. But I just really would like to see what Chris Hero could do in 2022 in pro wrestling, you know. But yes, this match, fantastic, 4.5. Michael J, what you got?
We at the Up and Over podcast, I don't know if you can tell, we love Chris Hero. As Cortland said, post-match, the crowd's going apeshit for Tommy End, chanting, please come back. And it was very well deserved. This match was great. And at the time, if the Reseda crowd put on for you, you were a made man in independent wrestling. And they put on for him.
Yep.
And so it was good to see. After that, we had Tommaso Champa versus ACH, and now Joey Ryan is on commentary for the next two matches. My first note here was Peach Fuzz, Sicilian Psychopath, Tommaso Champa. It felt like ACH was on the verge of superstardom at this time, and Ethan and I talked about this earlier today. We're less than a year removed from his match with Kenny Omega, which some of you guys might have seen a clip about, where he takes a fan's vest and becomes Stone Cold ACH and stomps a fucking mud hole in Kenny Omega, and that's the whole thing. Is they just use this?
And fucking Chuck Taylor plays JR on commentary.
My God, he is. It's a fucking spectacle. The match. I'm gonna read my note as it is, Pat. This match starts with a 1v1 in imaginary basketball, and ACH breaks Ciampa's ankles. And I know that Pat popped at this.
I was dying, dude.
I'm sure when he sat down, I'm sure you stood up like, he fucking got him. Like, I can only imagine.
Portland was so pissed off.
Oh, Mike called that one too.
Did you?
I knew Court was gonna hate this, and I knew you were gonna love it.
Pat, did you catch the comment of Excalibur saying he calls fucking Ciampa Mutombo? Because he
said Tommaso Mutombo, right? Oh, it's fucking brutal. It's fucking brutal.
What the fuck, man?
But once again, the card needed this in this spot too.
Yeah, this had some fun back and forth, but nothing felt memorable outside of the ACH Stone Cold Steve Austin moments. Like, that was it.
Right now. I can feel it.
ACH wins. ACH wins via a stunner and a 450 splash. I went 2 3/4. It was fine. Ethan, what do you have?
Oh man, me first.
I have to say, I'm saving one specific match for Cortland because there's no way I watched this match and I enjoyed it and Cortland didn't enjoy it more than I did. There's just no fucking way.
He's gonna go off about this match though too, which is the thing. I actually have a gripe about this that's different than what his gripe's gonna be because I fucking love ACH. To me, he was the best thing about this. And that might get some heat too, but like ACH is just so fucking fun. He was so over at this time. He had the match with Kenny. He had the matches with Jay Lethal and ROH. He had the match with Kyle O'Reilly at PWG. All these fucking killer matches. But this match is the perfect example to me of a thing that I harp on all the time. What ended up being the downfall, PWG losing its luster, and also NXT being what it become. Because you have these same guys that work the same style. This was the worst match on the show. It's just routine shit. The best thing about it for me was ACH having fun, but nothing else about this. It was just your when you think of NXT or PWG or that house style of those two brands, this is what you think of. Just stuff, no urgency, no meaning, just throw it at the wall, see what sticks. Can we make them pop? I went 2 3/4 because I love ACH and they did do some fun stuff, and I can't really fucking hate on it. But this style of match that ACH, Champa, Gargano, Michael Elgin, Davey Richards, Adam Cole, that 2012 ROH house style that I hate, was partially on display here. And thankfully PWG would eliminate it in the month to come, and we would go more towards the British shit. But yeah, 2 3/4 regardless. I'm gonna pass it to Cortland.
This wasn't fucking awful though. Like objectively, this match was fun. Anyway, Cortland, go ahead. Oh man. Oh, Cortland is mad. Cortland's mad, dude.
Let me go before.
Let Matt go first, please.
We have to save Cortland for last because he's just gonna fume. We have to keep passing it around. Casey, let's go to Casey first, then we'll go to Pat, then we'll go to Cortland.
Honestly,
Cortland is so fucking angry that I can feel it in my room. Oh yes.
I mean, honestly, like, I'll get into Pat real quick because I don't have a lot written down. Like, honestly, like, after a little bit, like, even though it was like a lot of jokey shit, but like ACH like screaming a bunch, just be like, like to everything. I was like, okay, like, let's just get this over with.
I went. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I went 2.5 stars. We know what the fuck it was. I didn't hate what was going on. It was fucking entertaining. It was just a lot of shit.
It was just a lot of shit.
Yeah.
With what happened in this entire card, it fit because you needed a chill out, like a funny, what the fuck ever.
And every PWG show has these comedy matches. It's just part of it. God's sakes, a year later, Jushin Liger stuck his thumb up a line of men's asses, and it was Jushin Liger's fucking idea to do it. That's what we got.
And that happened.
It's fun.
So
Casey?
Like,
wait, Pat.
I
Pat.
love the basketball shit, I'm not gonna lie.
I knew you did. I'm telling you, dude, I have it in my fucking notes. I said, Pat's gonna love that.
It's kind of crazy to me, but I said it as soon as we were done watching the match, because we watched the pay-per-view twice, like in its entirety twice, and I was like, it's crazy to me that Tommaso Ciampa had the worst match on the card, and that he wasn't even the best person in the match. I thought ACH carried that match. I thought the only reason the match was slightly okay was that.
Dude,
Ciampa,
the glow up of Tommaso Ciampa in NXT was shocking, dude.
Dude, yes. The thing about Ciampa is, like, he needs to stay in WWE because, like, I never liked him. I didn't hate him, but I never was like, dude, Ciampa's, let's fucking go. And when NXT said, let's do Gargano and Ciampa, I'm like, bro, that was the worst match on like 2 PWG shows. Like,
but it fucking rocked, dude.
But then,
the
yeah,
first few of those were great,
but
dude.
it's formula.
They were great. You're looking at it with shitty fucking eyes, dude. If you go back and you watch that as it happened, those matches were fucking good, dude. Those matches were good.
Their match in NXT format works. It just does.
One time.
I mean, it didn't need to have fucking 75 fucking bouts.
There's 2.
Okay, I'll give you 2. There's 2.
Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
Or not Cruiserweight Championship.
The Cruiserweight Classic.
Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
Cruiserweight Classic. That match is fucking phenomenal between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a single thing I would.
But I'm saying, I'm like making it this like saga that runs like 3 fucking years. No one needed. No. But like those, like a couple of those matches, like their style fit the formula, but like it didn't need to happen a whole bunch. Excalibur saying "by God" at the end when CH delivers the center, the funniest fucking thing. Because it's "by God."
Cortland doesn't even want to laugh. He's that apprehensive about this match. I'm watching him just like, I can't wait to talk about how much I hated this. Casey, what'd you go?
2 3/4. Cortland, fucking take it away.
Cortland, the floor is yours. I'm gonna mute, my friend. I will be listening.
It's not gonna be that bad. It's a 1 3/4. Anything higher than that, you're lying.
Oh man, I had to unmute.
I was waiting on this moment.
Stupid ass Carney shit. Okay?
I'm going on. I can't.
I can't do this How's he doing? How? He crossed him up with what? I'll wait.
It's a work.
Next match.
Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out.
That you have, that the only thing the crowd cares about is some shit that is over 20 years old now, that you didn't do that great. And also, the person who originated it didn't do it that great either. So, like, I just don't understand. I'm wearing this Tommaso Champa shirt because I do love Tommaso Champa. And I don't want to shit all over this match because it's not like I hate either of the participants fully.
Can you
Sure.
can you at
I don't
least
want to hate on the individuals.
can you just shit on his hair at least for me?
I literally have written down.
It's the dumbest haircut I've ever seen. in my life.
I have written down. This match is as much shit as Ciampa's hair. Is what the first sentence I have.
Okay, if you haven't watched it, so if you can see this though, Ciampa's bald, but he's got so during this match, so he has a fucking really thin mohawk,
His face on the back of his head.
and then he has beard with like just a little bit of hair, like that wraps around his ear in a really sharp point.
That's him.
And that's it. And it makes no fucking sense. Like he was like
he went to his barber with a picture of Suzuki's head and was like, kind of similar to this. And they were like, we'll figure it out.
he was like kind of looked like Road Warrior Hawk and Animal at the same time.
Maybe that's what he was going for, honestly.
So last thing I'll say about this match is that there
Please.
is good strikes in this match. Like the striking is on point. A lot of the spots are right where they need to be. Luckily, no one got hurt. I love to fake out that Ciampa did on the outside. Like he escaped the ring. Everyone moved thinking that he was going to do a tope, and then he walks this way, towards this apron, and then he runs on the apron and gets kicked in the chest, and he looks right at Ronda and screams, "What the fuck?" Right in her face after getting kicked in the chest, and it's hilarious. But other than that, man, it's really hard for me to get past the haha bullshit of the match itself. It feels like Vince Russo booked this match move for move. I'm surprised there's not a cage in it. Give it something. Because shit, dude.
Stone Cold Vest on a pole match.
I
Oh,
was gonna
buddy.
say,
Bro,
dude,
don't watch
Cortland,
All I'm gonna
please,
say-
please
It's
don't go
going
watch
blind.
that Kenny Omega match.
Don't watch
Please
the Kenny
don't go
Omega
watch it. Please don't go watch it. Because if you
won't.
find it,
Trust me,
you
I
are going to be
Buddy.
so mad. But I know the duality of that household. Pat would give it 4 stars. It's
yeah,
a
I gave it
fucking
4.
blast.
Bro,
It's
they
so
ran
fun.
They ran through the whole Austin Rock. ACH did the Rock fucking little slap exactly like
It's
he would do it.
a mess.
He did the
you
Blue
would-
Test press with the
You would
vest
love it
on.
for the spectacle and then be like, goddamn carny bullshit. It would be you'd be like, oh, that was fun, but wait a minute, goddamn fuck. Oh god. Cortland, you better take a sip of a drink because it's going right to you here in just a second. Don't
yeah,
say a
let's
thing.
talk about
Don't say a thing. Don't say a thing. The next match that we have is Monster Mafia, which is Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, versus Love Gun, which is Chris Saban and Matt Seidel. We have Joey Ryan on commentary again. Before we dive into this match, I would like to take the time, on behalf of everybody here, Ethan, happy birthday. It's a pleasure doing this
it's 12.
podcast. It's a pleasure doing this podcast with you. I hope you know I love you. I hope you know these guys love you. We love you,
Amen.
man. And we're happy to be here with you. So
I love
happy
you
birthday.
guys. Thank you for
Love you,
thank you for
buddy.
doing this show, and thank you for having me be a part. And Mike,
Of course.
I love you even though we argue more than anybody else on this pod.
Listen, bud, you know what? We argue, but you're my Bret Hart, I'm your Shawn Michaels. We couldn't have made it without each other.
That's fine. I'll go with
bef-
that.
Oh, you
Before-
put on a better match than they did.
Oh man, that's disrespectful. Hashtag Ethan L96 help my man get to Dallas and back.
Please help me.
Okay, it weirds me out that Ethan Page wrestled in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I just don't, I can't compute that. But this was way more enjoyable than I was expecting it to be. It took a minute for the match to really hit its stride, but the crowd was super into it in those slow moments, so it didn't feel slow. Matt Seidel hits a double Meteora to the outside that popped me big. So much so that I called Ethan about it, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Not human.
Alexander and Paige are buttery smooth in those tag team maneuvers, man. So good. And it just made me appreciate their work a ton more. And of course, we love Saban and Seidel. Anyway, Love Gun win via Shooting Star Press, Neckbreaker combo. I will save my rating. Cortland, the floor is yours. And I feel like you really had to have enjoyed this match because this felt like something that you would have loved in my brain.
Dude, it's right up my alley. I enjoyed this match a lot. I really wish that there was a little bit more. The thing about PWG is that you have great tag team matches, but the reason that I enjoy tag team matches a lot is because there's so much more to the rules of pro wrestling in a tag match. There's so many things that you have to work around, like holding a tag rope, being in this corner, the 5 count, the 10 count for tag team moves, just the array of shit like that, right? So PWG doesn't really have that, like at all. And a lot of times AEW doesn't either. And that's why I praise FTR as much as I do, because they do stick into the boundaries of those rules. It's classic style pro wrestling that I just think at the root is the best form of pro wrestling, is the root of it. So this match does have so many spots that are just like, you can't even pull out 5 off the top of your head. There's just so many. It's really a spot fest between the two. But everyone gets their stuff in. Josh Alexander just is so great sometimes, man. And it's the little shit that he does I feel like a lot of people don't pick up on. Super underrated still. I feel like him being in the pond that he is in Impact Wrestling is, and that's not to take away from Impact by any stretch of the means. But like, it feels like he's in such a small pond and he could be somewhere much bigger.
And my thing is, this was like a year before he had to retire for 2 years. Neck.
Yeah.
Also.
Well,
and to see him be able to come back now and have the run he's doing, that's really solidifying him more than he did before, is really cool.
Well, he's not under contract right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I love you.
It's like really shitty because like his contract expired and so did his work visa. So he's back in Canada right now. He's not in the States right now. I'm hoping someone, for the love of God, Tony Khan, picks him up because like, it's a fucking insane human being.
On the other side of it, dude, you got your Matt Seidel and Chris Saban, and Chris Saban just looks so good getting beat up. He's one of those dudes that, like, his offense is great, right? But his timing and the placement of where he knows his energy has to be in certain segments is second to none. There's very impressive, like, avalanche DDT in this match that popped me big. There's a "your shit's weak" chant, which was fucking hilarious to me. Towards I believe Ethan Page.
It was towards Page, yeah.
There's a cool monkey flip DDT. There's just so many tag team innovation moves.
Dude, that monkey flip DDT is one of the craziest fucking tag team moves I've ever seen.
It's because he pops the hips right at the right time, and then he gets like the in DDT position and like does the whip. But like, it's the timing on the turn,
so smooth.
That the way they take it, it just looked so great, man. There's a lot of innovative spots in this match. I probably would have gone higher, but like I said, it's very spotty. It felt like it was like, all right, we got that one done. Now we gotta get to the next one.
It's
and
just
kind of like
how to fill it. You know what I mean?
It was
it's
just
one
like
of those ones where it's one of those ones where
spot.
it's like stylistically it's weird because like I feel like Monster Mafia kind of has like that's how their tag team has been, and even up until Paige leaves. Like, that's how they worked. But then Seidel was like, I can do the cleanest shooting star press in the fucking world. And everyone's like, we want to see more of that. Like, the whole time. So it's like, let's see all the flips, bro. Like,
I love Matt Seidel, man. I've been doing Matt Seidel for the longest time. And it's just that fucking debut at AEW.
Oh.
Fuck
when he's just
man.
like, oh yeah, shooting star, whoopsie, like
yeah, like it fucked him, man. And I hate to see it, but I love seeing this match. Chris Saban and Matt Seidel have a lot of chemistry that obviously resonates through the television screen. So it's really cool to see. I hope we get to see it again. Whenever that can be, I'll be there for that shit. So I believe I gave this match 3.5 stars.
I like it. Who are you gonna pass it off to, bud?
I'll give it to Ethan.
Love it.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I went 3.5 on this as well. This is one of those that's really cool. You got a lot of weird variables with Saban and Seidel because they only had a couple matches as Love Gun or whatever. But like, I really love the team because I love Saban, Shelley, Seidel, all those like guys from that like, oh yes, 06, 07 era. But Shelley was injured so much for so many years, and he works a normal job and shit. I'm pretty sure. So there was a while there where it's like, you know, Saban and Shelley always used to be on PWG shows. Saban did so much with TNA. This run with Seidel was his first time back in PWG in probably 7 or 8 years. So it was cool to see. Alexander and Paige, it's just a weird trajectory they've went on because when I discovered Mike Bailey, that sent me down that Canadian Indies shit, and like Paige and Alexander used to rip this shit up there. You know, it was Paige, Alexander, Speedball, you know what I mean? All came from the, you know, C4, Alpha One, all those smaller companies. And so seeing them show up in PWG was super. For some reason, I never thought their style worked well here. I liked one thing I loved about this match though was, for the longest, the Young Bucks were like the only heels in PWG. So seeing Monster Mafia here, I think Saban and Seidel really helped solidify them as like, okay, there's some new dickheads around, you know. And I know the young, because everyone also at this point started loving the Young Bucks. You know, they still booed them, but you needed a real heel team.
You love to boo them.
Yes. And so Monster Mafia kind of filled that role for a little bit. You know, I still will probably never watch any of their PWG matches back because I always wanted so much more from them. And I felt like they just were kind of an awkward fit for PWG because they aren't, I don't know.
It's not that style, man. It's a weird placement, but it's not like I don't enjoy this match, though. I think all 4 individuals that I enjoy.
Yes.
Definitely individually.
Yes, 100%. It just, you know, like I said, I went.
Look at the 4 of them, dude. Look at the talent that is in that fucking ring.
Oh yeah.
Like, the years of knowledge between the 4 of them, and it's scary because one of them hasn't been in the business that long.
Yeah. Alexander and Paige are still both super fresh, and it's just like with Alexander, you know, I was a huge. I've always been like Josh. And so, like, literally soon after this match, he had to retire and shit. So, like I said earlier, I'm just so glad he's back doing shit again because he's just so fucking good. But, yeah, like you said, you know, just a good match. Once again, they didn't need to go fucking ballistic here. You needed to calm them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, 3.5, not much more to say from me. I enjoy it.
Pat, what'd you go?
I went 3.5 as well. Decent match, good tag team match. Obviously, you know, you got a lot of fucking talent in this match for sure. One thing I will touch on that we haven't touched on is the crowd for this match was fucking hot. And I don't even think it was because of the match. It was mostly everybody hating Ethan Page.
Bro, they fucking hated
him. Ripping this man alive. And I just loved how he was just fucking eating that shit.
Dude, it makes you want it makes you want that Ethan Page like on TV.
Yes, 100%, man. 100%. That's literally what I was thinking. I was like, man, we need to see more of this today.
This is why we don't need fucking American top team bullshit with him. He needs
to be on him.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much more to add that you guys didn't already say. It's a great
3.5.
match. Yeah.
Casey, before you give yours, I want to put the pressure on you because I did go 3.5.
Okay. All right. I also
Pressure's
went
on you now.
3.5.
We did it twice
No
on this
one-
episode, fellas.
And I'm pissed at all of you that no one said that Ethan Page showed his whole ass to the crowd.
I almost said it and then I stopped
And
talking.
4 girls loved it. 4 of them in the front row.
He purposely positioned himself right in front of Shayna Baszler and company and pulled his pants down.
Right now, and this might be controversial, but if anybody got laid this night, it was Ethan Page. He was killing that whole little section of like girls over there, man. They were.
It was fucking great. But yeah, I mean, like I think we all touched on it. Like I do think it's the one thing it irritated me is they kept commenting about the tag team of Saban and Seidel, and I'm like, don't you dare try to say that they can't work as a tag team when one half of the Motor City fucking Machine Guns is there. They know how to work a tag team
Yes,
match.
and Seidel is super similar to Shelley. You know, Seidel
Yeah.
a lot more, but they work. They're a lot way similar.
Like, it just on commentary they kept driving it home that like, oh, they're still new. I'm like, it's literally the Motor City Machine Guns is probably one of my favorite fucking non-WWE tag teams of all
Me too.
time. So like, I'm like, I was sitting there just stewing. So I'm like, shut up, like you leave them alone. This is fucking great. And yeah, that even though no one else could do it, a shooting star neckbreaker is one of the craziest fucking finishing
What
moves.
the fuck?
Huh.
I was
And
like,
it
they're
was
gonna
like
do
so
what?
smooth. It was like whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like cake.
So I think he brings it. I think like Excalibur brings it up like earlier because like they tried to go for it, and I was like, I'm sorry, they're gonna do what in this match?
Yeah, right.
And then they hit it, and I'm like, they fucking did that.
Yeah, he calls out. He's like, "Hey, shooting star press neckbreaker is what they beat the Young Bucks with." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "They're gonna go for it right here." I was like, "He's going for what?"
I was like, how does that work logistically?
Yeah, he's just like calling it like a normal match.
But it
Drop
looks
to
great.
hold, and then he has a shooting star press neckbreaker. Like it's just like the next fucking thing. It was good. 3.5 the whole way around. I love it. Moving on, we have Chris Hero moving to commentary. We
Thank
have
God.
Ricochet versus the second Carolina King, Andrew Everett. We have a quote. This is one of the only quotes that I wrote down this entire night. You have Excalibur say, "Hey, Chris Hero, you think you might see some flippy shit?" Andrew Everett had such a bright shine for such a small amount of time, and it's unfortunate that injuries derailed his career. He actually returns on this card from a knee injury he sustained that kept him out for a year. So this is his first match. Right, this is his first match back.
He only had one match before he went out, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was that WrestleCon that Excalibur was talking about. We're 2 years away from Ricochet being the Battle of Los Angeles winner, and we're kind of in the stride of him being like a solid run of singles matches in PWG.
He won Battle of Los Angeles the year prior, right?
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's one of the only people that's won it. He won it in 2014. He beat
I'm a big
O'Reilly, I
dumbass.
think.
I just know that he won it in
Yeah, well,
2017.
robot
so
either
fuck
for a
me.
second. But yeah,
I think
no,
he won it twice.
he did. Yeah.
This had a crazy back and forth head scissors reversal thing that made the crowd go fucking nuts, but it lasted.
Far too long.
I got dizzy as fuck watching
Way
this.
too long. Way
Oh
too
my
long.
God.
My favorite part about it was afterwards you have Excalibur say, "Oh man, they look winded," and then they just go fucking nuts for the rest of the match. We get the infamous Ricochet diving over the turnbuckle spot, the turnbuckle
Dude.
post.
Bro, that's
Something
that
he did
spot,
very often.
I have to break in here. That's the spot that sent me down the PWG rabbit hole. I saw one of their previews on YouTube, and I saw that fucking spot, and I said, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I
He
got
jumped over. What?
next thing I got 60 DVDs showing up to my doorstep, and Bean's pissed as fuck.
Oh.
We live in a trailer. Why are you ordering wrestling DVDs?
Why do you have a pallet of DVDs outside?
Bro, I can't lie to y'all. I'm gonna lay it all out. It's my fucking birthday. This is my podcast that I chose. I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I graduated high school and I got all my graduation money, what do y'all think I spent that shit on? DVDs. And I ain't shitting you. I swear to
Oh
you guys,
my
I would
God.
buy 10 a month, and like I'd get them shipped to like my uncle's house down the street and try and get him before he knows. Because my parents knew I was spending all this money. I had no job, no nothing. They're like, "Ethan, you sit at home all day writing these wrestling reviews blog," and here I am. Bring it on in. PWG, Beyond Wrestling, Alpha One, C4, Dragon Gate tapes from Japan that a fucking 40-year-old man in Ohio burns on a disc for me. That's where I was.
Oh, my
Shout out to Bobby for doing that.
All right,
Dog,
all
there's a
right, all
wrestling
right.
group
We've
around me.
gone deep in this dive. Cortland, I actually have written down. I need one word from Cortland about the People's Moonsault spot. One word from you.
Dumb.
Holy shit! Andrew. Oh, God.
Hey, good word for the person too. A
Yeah,
very
dumb as
big
shit.
dumbass.
Love him,
Yeah.
but fuck, he's an idiot.
Trevor, you stupid.
Andrew Everett's springboard shooting star to the outside made me stand up and like I was
I
stunned.
Brother.
lost my mind, dude.
There
Dude.
was an
Very cool.
an exchange that was like a super kick, enziguri, German suplex, double stomp. That I was like, I'm fucking spent from this. Like I'm tired. Little did I know what was about to happen to me.
exhausted.
Like a leg capture suplex. Is that what you're talking about?
No, so Ricochet hits a super kick, boom, and then Andrew Everett comes, hits an enziguri that was running. Then it like turns Ricochet around. He German suplexes him, boom. As he German suplexes him, Ricochet lands on his fucking head, gets up on his feet, double stomps, and then they lay there. And I was like,
yeah.
I am fucking tired.
Yeah.
Little did I know what was about to happen to me.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh yeah, here it is, fellas.
Oh
the-
my god.
Avalanche Poison Rana from the top rope with Andrew Everett landing on his fucking feet.
Let's
No,
fucking
you gotta
go.
call it. He said, Andrew Everett landing on his goddamn face. Just like that, dude. It is the funniest thing.
I thought that Everett's left foot landed on Ricochet's, like the back of his foot, which would have broken his foot immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
The next thing he does is a fucking double moonsault.
To no one.
Let's fucking go.
He
This
does
is
a
it, bro.
double moonsault, which I don't
I
think
don't care
I've ever
how cool
seen.
that spot looks, because that looks fucking wild. It's so goddamn reckless.
he does a
This
double
man barely
moonsault.
gets his head around. I'm like, he's trying to fucking kill himself. Like, this is it.
Dude, to
So wait,
double
Ricochet did
moonsault
it
to
or
his
Andrew?
belly.
Andrew Everett did it.
Andrew
Jumps to the
Everett did-
top.
okay.
Double. He's standing there fucking shaking around, and Excalibur even goes, he's unsteady, and then he just fucking commits to it. Then you have
Jumps like
Ricochet.
40 feet in the
Ricochet-
fucking air.
It's fucked. Ricochet hits the Benadryller for a win. This was fucking nuts. I loved it. 4 1/4. I don't care who takes it. Somebody take
Yes,
it.
baby, yes, go. Fuck it. I'm taking the floor right now to get it out.
No. Oh yeah, fuck it. You take the floor. I don't give a
Settle
fuck.
down.
Take it. Just take it. Just take it. It's
I just
fine.
got to let it while the momentum's going. 4 stars. Because here's the deal. I get
What was your
annoyed with
rating?
shit.
4.
4 stars.
Okay, you just broke.
I get annoyed with a lot of shit sometimes, but sometimes, man, I want to see fuckers act the fuck up. And these motherfuckers said, fuck it, I'm gonna do 20 flips, 20 super kicks, a double fucking moonsault,
Yeah, look.
drop me on my neck, drop me on my ass. Fuck it, bro. If I went to this show and took a non-wrestling fan, they'd be shitting their fucking panties wanting to come back. I don't give a fuck. These two, fucking crazy. Last thing, go watch Cedric Alexander versus Trevor Lee versus Andrew Everett before we lose the High Spot Network. It was their debut match. Goddamn good shit. I gotta plug it. Fuck.
Good shit.
So
Um,
happy.
Cortland.
I enjoyed this match. I gave it 3 3/4.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a lot of flashy stuff in this match, which I mean most of the time isn't my my cup of tea. But
You were
Ricochet's
sipping it
so
tonight.
talented. Dude, Ricochet is so goddamn talented. It really makes me mad that they're like, I wish you just go into business for yourself or fucking something. Like, dude, you should be anywhere but where you're at currently. Everett is just one of those guys that should be around and should be talked about more. It's so insane how many spots they get off in this match, and neither of them are dying.
Yes.
Like, it's in fucking insane. I have a quote from Excalibur here. He says he's from the Carolinas.
Oh,
Chops are in his blood like barbecue and vinegar.
I loved it.
And
That shit made me pop, dude.
that shit made me laugh. There's a really cool blue thunder bomb in this match that popped me big.
There is.
And
Yeah.
Edwards landing on his goddamn feet, man. Gotta come back to that. That avalanche
scary.
Poison Rana is absolutely insane. I love the Benadryller. I think it is a fantastic move when done.
Dude, I love that
correctly.
move.
Someone knows how to take it.
Yeah.
It's a great, solid finishing move. It's happy to see it. I haven't seen it in what it feels like forever. So, yeah, man, 3 3/4. It's a good match.
My turn.
Go ahead, bud.
Sir.
I went 4 flat. Dude, there's not. I mean, bro, it's fucking amazing. Like, every moment of this shit is just fucking crazy. Like, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of gone away from just loving matches with like a million spots, like I did when I was a kid.
But this
I
one.
watched this shit with children eyes, bro. This shit was just fucking crazy as shit. It's like everything that you want to see, like that you're like, I'm too cool to watch that anymore. Nah, fuck that shit. That shit was just fucking every fucking dive you could think of. My man hit a double moonsault to nothing.
Flip,
at
slam,
all.
and splat.
Like it was crazy. I remember saying it while we were watching it back today. I was like, there's some people that do things that you watch and you just get pissed off at how good they are at what they're doing.
That's right.
And watching Ricochet in this match, I was just like, dude, this motherfucker is perfect, dog. Like,
Yes.
he's not fucking up nothing. Like, it's just crazy.
He's got eyes in the back of his fucking head, dude. It's unbelievable.
It was just, it's a doozy, man. I suggest this match to anyone, and mostly the people that have never watched wrestling before. Like, you want to watch some fucking crazy shit?
If you think wrestling's dorky, I'm telling you, you watch that match, you're gonna be into it. Like, that's it. That's it. Casey, what you got, man?
I gave it 3 3/4. Like I said,
I believed in you, bud.
honestly, because of the beginning with the fucking head scissor, fucking bro, it lost me because like I was like, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
we're still
they did
doing
like
it.
10 times.
Okay, we're still doing it.
That's
Like,
why I didn't say shit about it.
but like, I mean, like it lost me, and then I mean, you can't not give credit to the rest of the match, so that's why like I still kind of try to keep it in like a fair, respectable realm. But like, the double moonsault to his belly to nothing, just. That's another one where I'm just like, who had the conversation of like, so are you gonna take it? No, I'm gonna roll out of the way. I'm gonna move.
It's my first
And
day
also-
back, bro.
You're right. The crazy thing to think of too is though, think about like how these guys feel going out there, because this is the time where Regal is at PWG almost every month signing guys up. So you know what I mean? And this is what they're looking for at the time. So Andrew Everett, he missed out on a whole year's worth. You know, and now he's like, man, I gotta come back. Fuck it, double moonsault, fucking flop my ass on the goddamn back.
The second he lands,
if you could do what Andrew Everett does, can you say you wouldn't do the same
the
thing?
second
I
he
100% was doing it.
the second he landed on his feet with that avalanche poison rana, I stopped it and went back. I was like, I'm sorry, what the fuck did I just see? I was like, he did not just land on his feet.
And we keep touching on those two spots, but like also the fucking springboard fucking shooting star press out the
Beautiful.
Holy.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
perfect. It's perfect.
because there's so many spots in this that literally only have like springboard shooting star, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, and then like that spot. Cause I'm just like, my brain can't keep together all of the things they did, but like it's a lot.
I thought he was gonna
It
hit
was
the lights,
exhausting.
Yeah.
bro. Like,
Oh,
I was
I
like,
did.
are you gonna shoot through the roof of this damn Legion Hall or what?
I forgot about this, so I gotta like backtrack a bit. But during Excalibur announcing the Matt Seidel match, one of the PWG guys, I guess, was coming up because he had a note to give Excalibur about like the match.
Yeah.
He shoves the motherfucker down the stairs, and Chris Hero's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And he's like, "I have a live mic in my hand." He's like, "You can't tell me."
Like you hear them talking about it, and he's like, I don't know what just happened there, but it's like, yo, pushed Joey down the stairs there a second ago. He's like, yeah, man, he just came up to me. This is not how we do it over here. That's why he's getting fired. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's like, he's going to be feature endeavored in a minute, but he's like, I'm have a live mic announcing the match, and you're trying to tell me something. He's like, no, fuck off, dude. Because he's like, you could almost hear him be like, I have something to tell you. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, sorry, bud, but that's not how we do shit. That's how you get future endeavored.
He's like, Seidel's literally walking
like,
into the ring.
Go. He's like, oh, it's not that he's leaving. He's let go.
What a mess. Before we move on to the main event, I wanted to make one note and one note exclusively. Cortland, I loved the People's Moonsault.
It was awesome.
This is my note that I have on it. Dead serious, this is my note. The People's Moonsault spot makes me laugh. It was funny.
Also,
Him doing the whole thing, the fucking arm kick in, the fucking take. It's good shit, man. It was funny. I wasn't expecting the moonsault because I don't remember him doing that, but that's funny as fuck.
Also, minor note before we move on. I'm pretty sure Ricochet came out to All Night Long.
So that was him
Every
and Rich Swann's thing
Nice.
in PWG. So if you went to any event that has Rich Swann on it, somebody is gonna sing that song. And fun tidbit: if you know who my brother is, you'll understand. I was in Tampa, Florida. We're at GCW's For the Culture. It is past midnight. I have been at this fucking venue for over 12 hours. Rich Swann is coming out for a match against, I think it was KTB. I don't even remember. Rich Swann's coming out. There's maybe, 100 people left in the crowd. And my brother is front row, dancing, having a good time. Rich Swann seeks my brother out. And at midnight in Tampa, Florida, Ybor City, in fact, Rich Swann and my brother Jeff were dancing to All Night Long. And that is my favorite story about that song. With that said, let's get into this main event.
Christ.
I love Jeff.
This is three.
God, I love Jeff.
What a mess. This is 3 of 3. I'll see if I can find it because I'm sure somebody put it on camera.
Please.
I'm positive. Roderick Strong defending his PWG World Championship against Zack Sabre Jr. Chris Hero on commentary with Excalibur. This is 3 of 3, Ethan. This is your time to shine, my friend. Enjoy
Happy birthday, son.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm so stoked we covered this show. I'm glad you guys were down for it. This main event, truthfully, I watched it in 2015 and I haven't watched it since. I've talked about it on other podcasts, how much I love Roderick Strong's run at this time, 2014, 2015. And I've mentioned this match a couple times. So when I went to rewatch it, I wasn't gung-ho about rewatching it. I was like, oh yeah, this will be nice to look. I went 4.5 on it in 2015, and I haven't literally watched it since. So I just want to preface that. But I go back, rewatch this thing, and it's even better than I remembered. And I did rave about it a lot, but now with these new eyes, I'm just going to take you through the whole thing because this is going to be a big moment of the podcast. I'll just give you all that little peek. So the thing about this match is Roderick Strong, this is literally like a 10 years in the making type thing. Because, he came up with Punk, AJ, Brian, Joe. He was up in ROH in 2000. He came to PWG in 2005. When you talked about independent wrestling, Roderick Strong's that name that was always there. Admittedly, I always thought Roderick was just another generic indie guy for years. I liked him somewhat, but I never was like, oh, dude, Roderick Strong. There was nothing, because there was nothing there. You know what I mean? It was just backbreaker guy. He's going to do 20 moves in 5 seconds. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that's good old Roddy. You know what I mean? He kind of was a house name to do this house style, and it was cool. But in 2014, Roderick Strong got a little edge on him. And before you know it, this dude's one of the top 5 best wrestlers in the world. And Chris Hero in commentary here really tells the whole story, even more so than I could. Roddy's bitter, and in 2014, you started seeing him act a little dickish. And the fans, in PWG, he always got a basic reaction. They were never like hot for him, but they were never dull because it's Roderick. He's been around forever. But then at the 2014 Battle of Los Angeles, he faces AJ Styles, who is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and Roddy snaps. He gets AJ disqualified, which fully solidifies he's being a heel because he made it look like a chair on him. And then he beats AJ with the chair after the match, advances in the tournament. Then Kyle O'Reilly and Zack Sabre Jr. have this banger of a match. Kyle wins. Roddy goes out there and destroys the motherfucker. Puts him through chairs, tables, the whole 9 fucking yards. This he just goes nuts. And I just love the story of the fact that the AJ match is what snapped him. Because, you know what I mean? AJ's that guy who he came up with. And 6 months prior to this, he almost broke Roddy's neck in ROH. So the fact that all this time of Roddy feeling overlooked, you know what I mean? And then he gets in there with AJ and he's just, this shit, dude. I'm tired of this shit. You know, everybody gets signed. I'm left behind. I've been in PWG 10 years. Who stays in PWG 10 years? You know what I mean? He's been there 10, 20 years, never won Bola, never won the world title. He's just been working the mid-card, you know? And so he gets this title run, and I never thought I'd see a crowd care about Roddy as much as they began to care about Roddy. When this thing cuts from the opening little video of like, oh, Danny, whatever, and that fucking crowd is just barreling his ass with heat. And the thing about Roddy is that I never thought he'd fall so well into that role of being this fucking dickhead, you know? So, and then you got Zack, right? And the thing about this match too is Zack Sabre Jr. wasn't the number 1 contender. What I love about the story of this is at the event before, Roderick Strong called out Zack Sabre Jr. because at the 2014 Battle of Los Angeles when Roddy beat AJ's ass and went ballistic, people weren't really talking about that after. They were like, yeah, Roddy's doing. They were talking about Zack Sabre Jr., who debuted in the States that weekend at Bola. So that all leads to the month.
Hurts, man.
Dude, for real, like you've been here 10 years and you've been overlooked, and to top it off, you snap and have a big moment and we're still thinking about the next guy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're the afterthought. And he says that. So the show before this, he beat Trevor Lee's ass, retained the title, and he's like, you know what? Y'all want Zack so much? You want Zack Sabre Jr. back? I want him back, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? He's like, you want Zack Sabre Jr. back? Excalibur, bring him back, because I'm going to beat him up and show y'all that he's not as good as you think he is. You know what I mean? And, you know, when that happened, I wasn't anticipating this to be the 5-star match that I'm gonna fucking give this rating out for. But when you get there and you get this match and you get it started and the heat Roddy's getting, and he's facing Zack Sabre Jr., who at the time, he's a babyface, but this dude's he's such a little dickhead with how he works that it's like he's a natural heel. But here, he somehow works so perfectly as the babyface because the thing about Roddy is he always was explosive. He hit a million moves fast, but the reason it never really stuck is because there was nothing behind it. But here, everything's behind it. This dude's desperate. He's going to get embarrassed if he doesn't win this fucking match because he's already been embarrassed. You know what I mean? His whole career borderline is about him being embarrassed because everyone got signed and he got left behind and overlooked. And so he gets in here with Zack and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to beat his ass. And he's cocky. And Zack just picks the leg. Zack picks the arm, starts fucking with his fingers. You know what I mean? He's fucking with this guy. You know what I mean? And Roddy's mad as fuck. And the crowd, every time this shit's happening, you know what I mean? They're biting on everything that's going on because they hate Roddy. They're like, dude, there's a reason you never were the guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that fucking good. And so having Zack underneath just like poking at him, that's what it felt like to me. You know what I mean? He's like, dude, I know I can beat you. You've been around for 10 years and never been shit. So every time Roddy's trying to hit a million moves, Zack has a counter to every fucking one of them. You know, and just seeing the desperation and actual, because following Roddy's whole career, this anger, you know, I mean, it feels real. You know, because you know deep down he probably feels this way. You know, he's like, damn,
it feels that way. All your friends got signed to major television deals, and you're sitting in the fucking
Reseda, California.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Like you're trapped in the Moose Lodge, brother. Like,
now.
What's that? You broke up bad.
Look at the parallel now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so for me, you know, it's just such a perfect story. And on top of the story, just the match delivers. Dude, people are on their feet for the final 5 to 7 minutes match. They believe. Not only do they want Zach to win, they believe Zach's about to fucking upset Roddy. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, a big of a near fall. They're like, oh shit, like we're about to have a new champ already. Like, because PWG's known for giving guys the strap and letting them run when they get hot. And so, you know, I didn't think it would happen. But then as I'm watching this, even after I knew the result, dude, did somebody fucking write the result wrong online? Like, this is about to fucking happen for real. Like, but I just love this match. I'm going 5 stars on it because I don't think what more can you do here? You know? And the story is one that to me is underrated. And especially when people talk about PWG and you talk about the indies and you talk about, I ain't calling nobody out, Roderick Strong being the weak link of the Undisputed Era and just Roddy always being that guy who just ain't good enough. I'd put this fucking heel title run with Roddy up against anything anybody in the Undisputed Era has done as a singles competitor. Just straight up. You know what I mean? And I think this match is the testament as to why. So this is my first 5-star on the Up and Over pod. And I'm sure I missed some stuff.
Happy birthday with your flowers and all.
Dude, I'm sure I missed some stuff, and I'm sure I also talked too much at the same time. But these ones that really get me, it's because they resonate on a number of levels.
It's great, man.
Who you passing off to?
I'm going to pass it off to Mike, and there's a reason for that one.
I'm more upset about one thing, and I'll get to it at the end. Because you know what the fuck you did to me, Ethan. You know. Stole my fucking thunder. Is there anything more synonymous with Zack Sabre Jr. than chain wrestling? I don't think so. And the first 5 minutes of this match is nothing but chain wrestling. And you could see Roddy getting pissed that he was like, motherfucker's 3 steps ahead of me constantly.
Getting outworked.
There was a shitty little boots chant, and it felt like I was living a fever dream. That was a thing. That was a thing during his whole PWG heel run. But I forgot about it. Like, I haven't watched any of these PWG events in fucking forever. Zack Sabre Jr. hits a Northern Lights that he eventually, like he flips back over and transitions into an armbar. And how does Roderick Strong break that up? He picks him up and fucking guillotines him in the ropes.
Bro.
I was like,
dude,
oh my god.
One of the greatest counters to any move
I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Not to break in on you.
Yeah.
But dude, just the little things like that where Roddy's like, whenever Zach would do some shit, Roddy'd say, all right, fuck you, dude. And just like throw his ass down.
He like picked him up, he waddled his ass over to the second rope and guillotined him on the top rope. And I was like, this is the greatest fucking counter to anything like
ever. Yeah.
I was like, I haven't seen a guillotine in a fucking minute too. It was great.
There immediately after, there's a fan trying to fist bump Roddy, and Roddy's just staring at him.
Yeah,
it made me so fucking happy to see that. I laughed so hard. And that dude is committed. He's not just like, oh,
like,
okay, yeah. He's like, oh, come on, Roddy, Roddy. Like,
I don't know if you guys realize, like, after he gets back in the ring, that dude by himself starts chanting Roddy. He like, like Roddy.
I love that. I love
fucking
that.
Fist bumps himself. He's like, I got it for you. Don't worry, bud.
We had a moment, brother. We had a moment. Roddy wearing his frustration being outmatched in technicality with Zach was a beautiful story, and Chris Hero was the perfect poet for it.
Yes.
I mean, he just was phenomenal on commentary. And as we get in the stretch, it felt like the crowd wanted Zach to win more than Roddy, which made it feel even more important. The near falls were fucking wild. Chris Hero at one point says, I don't know how you can watch this and not believe that these are the 2 best wrestlers in the world. And man, that just was so good, man. Chris Hero needs to find a way to still be in professional wrestling one way or the other.
Yes.
In any capacity.
Yes. Roddy breaks out of an armbar attempt via dumping Zach on his fucking head and stomping his head into the ground. And then puts him in the stronghold for the submission. My immediate response, by myself sitting here at what I think I was finished at like 10:05, so 5 minutes late. I said, "Holy fuck! What did I just witness?" The reason that I'm upset with you, Ethan, is because you stole my fucking question at the end. What more do you want from this, guys? 5 stars.
Sorry.
It was a fucking ball. I loved it. 5 stars. I'm with you, Ethan. 5 stars, and it's not even a question to me.
The
In fact, go ahead, it's fine.
I was just gonna say the fucking selling of Roddy on the arm all match, even when he would hit a move, like when he hit that superplex near the end, Excalibur and Hero called it. They're like, "Oh God, a fucking superplex," and they're like, "No, he landed on that fucking arm that Zach's been working over," and Roddy's sitting there trying to get the feel, but just all the little shit here, dude. Like,
Yep. Yep, it
Phenomenal.
all added up to a beautiful thing. And since Pat, you wanted to be vocal here, bud, how about we pass it off to you, Pinball Man?
I went 4.5 stars. It's a 5-star match though, but I went 4.5 stars. I saw a
Wow,
tweet
that's
today.
crazy.
I saw a tweet today. I hate the caveat, but I think it was Mike Bailey tweeted.
Wow.
Sometimes wrestling's about moves, sometimes wrestling's about entertainment, and sometimes wrestling's about telling a story. And this match is all 3 of those things. This is wrestling. It's fucking amazing. It's really nothing. God damn, dude! Like, what more can you ask for? Is literally the question. And when I ask myself that question, I wish that every match had, because I mean, it's fucking perfect, dude.
What's your heart saying right now?
My heart's right now saying it's a 5-star match, but I think it's just because you guys said it's a 5-star match.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I mean, it's definitely 4 3/4 5-star match, dude. It's the culmination of this man's career at the time.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Pat.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, but the thing about it to me is like what I felt when I watched it 7 years later is I'm like, damn, dude, like this got me. I got more into this match watching it back than I have something in a long time. That was the thing. I was just like, this felt like fucking good. Just the vibe of the crowd, everything. And I don't know, dude. I don't know. I had so much I wanted to say about this, and then you get in the moment, and all this shit just slips from your fucking head.
Yeah.
He actually said to me, "I'm not gonna lie to you, bud." I called him while I was at work. He was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, bud. I didn't take any notes on this. It's all in my head."
Dude,
That's my best.
and
That's my
just
best
so y'all
season
know,
voice.
I was late to work today to watch this because, and I was planning to watch it on my break, but I started watching it like 30 minutes before I had to be at work, and I was like, I just couldn't stop watching it. So I was like, fucking, I'm gonna be late to work today to watch this fucking match.
What a mess.
Fuck 'em. Oh, the last thing. I remember what I was gonna say now, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Ethan, can you tell Ethan loves this match?
Here's the thing. What I loved about it is how organic the story they're telling is. It almost doesn't feel like a story because the story resonates with body. Huh?
It's real. It's the culmination of his career, man. It's
And now Ethan has stole my thunder because that's what I was gonna say.
Sorry. But
the fucker said too much.
But when Roddy does the shit like in the finish, when he's trying to get him in that stronghold, puts his ass in the face, it's like, stay the fuck down, dude. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You're not taking, this is all I have. This is what I've worked for. You're not going to come in here and be this sly little bastard and fucking beat me. But you also see fear in it, though. Dude, the desperation on Roddy when he's fucking kicking away at his ass, you know what I mean? Feels like a scene in a movie where someone's trying to, like, survive, bro. He's like, motherfucker, stop, you know? Like,
yeah, he even after Zach taps, like Roddy falls over almost in like exhaustion.
He
like,
falls,
and then you know what I love?
finally.
Zach instinctually lands his leg up on his face too.
Like,
you know what I mean?
kicks at
Right?
him.
You know what I mean? It just
They fall,
felt like that.
he falls back with him into the corner, like he's like in exhaustion, and like Zach's foot's just to the side of his shoulder, and he kind of like kicks at him. He's like, "Fucking
Yep, he
bitch."
tried to kick him. And it's just like, dude, in those moments when you have a finish like that, it's like that you just finally take a breath of air after like 3 minutes of like this, and just to have the finish be them falling back in Zach's last motion after having to quit is still kind of like, I almost
got
had
fight,
you, motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Yep. Cortland, since the motherfucker stole your thunder, might as well get to you now.
I just love how much this match represents both of these wrestlers individually. Both of them really got their shit in, and they knew how to make each other look great and look the way that they wanted to look, which I felt like was really important for Roderick Strong in this era of his career. Because at this point, it's like, dude, the last fucking decade of my life, I've tried everything and it's failed. This is starting to work. Here's the image that I have for it. If you fuck that up, I'm really gonna fuck you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, this is make or break for me. Like, you're making it in half the time. I need a fucking break, and you're gonna give it to me. And dude, he deserves it so much. And yeah, everyone wants to go on like Ethan said, Roderick Strong, he is that backbreaker guy. He's the guy that was just sitting in the mid card for so long. But there's a reason he's the backbreaker guy. It's because he knows how to do them, and he knows how to do them right.
Damn good fucking
against
wrestler.
Everybody, man. I love to see him now. Even the bullshit we have to deal with to see him wrestle. Even if he was the weak link in Undisputed Era, and he was like the add-on in the end, he was still the story of Undisputed Era, right? Like, yeah, they had their debut and stuff, but like him doing the turn on Pete was just so important. It felt like a whole. I mean, forgive me for saying, but it's a whole new era, and it was the Undisputed Era. Like they moved the needle, and it wouldn't have happened without Roderick Strong. And I feel like in indie wrestling around this time, a lot of stuff wouldn't stand the test of time like this does.
Yes.
And Roderick Strong is one of the pieces that makes this match stand the test of time. Because you can have Zack Sabre Jr. throw these fucking 5-star matches every motherfucking weekend. All you gotta do is just tune in to New Japan,
But he wasn't the driver here.
But he's not. Roderick Strong is the key piece that's holding the door to PWG right now, and Excalibur's the one calling it. Like you said, man, Chris Hero and Excalibur calling this match is, you couldn't ask for two people that know more pro wrestling than the two of them combined.
Yes, and two people who know these guys. You know what I mean? Like with Roddy, especially. Like Hero came up with Roddy too. Came up with Roddy too. So they're telling almost like about their friend. Like, man, I bet Roddy's really been pissed lately. You know what I mean? They're just kind of talking. They're like,
why is he so mad?
He's just an angry young fella.
They're like, how would you feel if this was you?
Yeah, and you can feel the importance to Roderick Strong in this match, and the arena can feel it. Like the people, especially up close, that front row, man, like they're breathing in the same air that these guys are. Like they feel the intensity between the two of them. The little piece that I do have written down about this match, because I just watched it intently twice.
That's sick. I love that.
Roderick Strong does a baseball drop kick to the outside, and it sends Junior, sends his ass into the crowd.
Yep.
And instead of him waiting for him to come back in, he runs out and picks him up dead weight and pulls him back in and rushes for this cover, man.
Dude,
That's the little shit you do not see enough in today's pro wrestling.
Yes,
These big moves, these great moves you hit on the outside, these fucking moonsaults, these topes, they don't mean anything if you're not trying to win with them.
Yes.
Get the motherfucker back in. Go for a pin.
Yep.
For the love of God. If anything, it gives you both 3 seconds to breathe.
Yep.
You can call your next spot. You can figure out the energy of the room where you want to go. For the love of God, don't do a fucking tope, run over here, do a flip here, go run around a commentary table, come bucking back and do this, just to go back inside and do a headlock. It makes no fucking sense. Sorry.
Cut the Carney bullshit.
I do love
if you're
this
gonna be
match,
urgent, be urgent the whole time, kind of thing.
The more I talk about it, the more it moves up in my head. This is a 4 3/4 to me. I wish I would have watched it happen and watched this whole trajectory of both of their careers in this moment.
Yeah.
Because I do believe it could have been a 5-star match if I knew the week to weeks.
If you lived it at the time, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, man, Roderick Strong. I can't say it enough. What a fucking unbelievable athlete. The conditioning between both of these two is top notch. I encourage people to watch this pay-per-view. I think that it's a hell of a pay-per-view to get into, especially if you're trying to show a friend pro wrestling. If you're trying to get someone into it. There's a little bit of everything in this card.
Literally, there's a match for everybody, except for Deathmatch. Yeah. You can take your crazy ass somewhere else.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this match. There's I hope that we get more Zack Sabre Jr. in the States.
He's
and
fun,
on
man.
national television. I hope that it happens.
Brother.
I don't care who it's against or what.
Bryan Danielson.
It's got to, man. It really has to. And
Put it in my
honestly,
veins. No, I'm just kidding.
man, I would really enjoy Roderick Strong leaving WWE.
Please.
And it doesn't have to be AEW where he goes, man. I think Roderick Strong is one of those talents that can hold somewhere like Impact. He can hold somewhere like NW. He can hold these promotions. Like, even if he wanted to do a small stint in MLW, work those style matches, and he will get eyes to that product.
Dude.
Roderick Strong is one of those people that you want on your fucking roster. And if you think you don't, you are wrong. Don't be in this business.
Dude, all you got to
That's
do.
the dude you fucking want on your team to be there to talk to the younger guys, the guy that can relate to the older guys, and they know how to move within the business that gets them and you further along.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys, man.
Because he's been there, you know, he's been working the indies. He's been on the indies and seen his friends go higher. He's been in WWE, you know what I mean? He's been everywhere a wrestler can be in 2022.
He worked the I gotta try harder, I gotta be harder, and then he was, and then he went to WWE, and then he learned how to work the hard camera. He learned how to work the crowd, his storytelling was done. He already figured that out, right? Yeah. But working a crowd individually, like knowing in a section that cares about this more than they care about this, and trying to sync this spot of this match into this side of the room, and trying to sync this part of the match to that part of the room. That's the kind of guy that was able to learn that, and he was super quick about it. Because every room's different, and he's one of those people that I feel like within the first 2 exchanges, he already knows where this match should go, and he can throw audibles at any fucking time. Roderick Strong, man.
Looking. Casey. Finish us off here, bud.
I think at this point, I'm the only person that hasn't had a 5-star match yet.
Oh, you say that ominously.
4 3/4.
Oh, you're a bitch!
I mean, there's not a whole lot else I can say about it. It's a great match. I don't know what that 5's going to be. I want
Heatwave 98 coming next week.
Maybe. I want to just ad nauseum. It's a running joke at this point. Roderick Strong's finisher being called the end of Heartache is still amazing to me. I love Killswitch Engage. Roderick Strong.
That you love Killswitch Engage. That's so sick.
One of my favorite albums. He will always be one of my favorite people. Every time that Zach got Roddy in a double wrist lock and Chris Hero lost his fucking mind was amazing. But other than that, y'all said it ad nauseum at this point. It's a great match. Watch it. Maybe it'll be your 5-star match, just not mine.
I don't know, like, what a mess. You know that Roderick Strong used to come out to a Victim of Target by Misery Signals in Ring of Honor, right?
Really?
Did he really?
Not only that, he would come out to a Boondock Saints sound clip before that song.
That doesn't surprise me literally at all.
It was a firefight, like that sound clip.
That doesn't surprise me literally at all.
That is what he used to come out to in Ring of Honor.
One last Roderick Strong fact. Put some respect on this human's name.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Taylor and Trent had a talk show on the High Spots Network, actually. Since we got a subscription, we can all go watch it. Called Poppin' Dogs and Talking Hogs.
Oh.
It's a real thing, I promise you. It's on there.
God.
They had Roderick Strong on that show.
Hot dogs doing motorcycles?
Listen.
God damn it.
Just
dude.
spinning their hogs. Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's a phenomenal show that made me fall in love with those 2 individuals that we see every Wednesday night on Dynamite.
Tune in.
Which we do live reviews of on the YouTube channel.
We will be there tomorrow night. But
We.
they ask a lot of questions on that show to their guests. Weird ones. How do you wipe your ass? Weird questions, right?
Where are we getting
quote-
with
I
this?
was like, where the fuck is this going?
The Roderick Strong quote that I would like to leave us with. Have you ever full-dogged a prostate?
All right.
That's
well,
Roderick Strong.
Oh,
That's Roderick
right.
Strong when you get a Miller Lite in his hand.
All right.
He-
Well.
He drinks a Miller Lite and says that. Go watch
All
it.
right. Well, for
You broke Pat. He's done.
Pass.
Pat, I'm
So,
gonna link you to it when
all
we're done.
right, let's fucking reel it in, fellas.
Oh
All right. The
I'm gonna
term
link you, bro.
prosto just got used on the Up and Over podcast. If that's on your bingo card, check that
that one
motherfucker off.
Roderick Strong asking
before,
Chuck Taylor.
Before I
What was the answer?
You have to. I'll link you to find out.
so before we get Mike to send us out of here, I just really want to, implore everybody. What was the thing that I was gonna say? Shit.
Don't ask me.
God damn it.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but some people don't start this podcast not high.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, that you just smoking some weed. Forgot what you were gonna say, buddy. No big deal.
Yeah, that happens to me every day. Regardless of what.
Whether I smoke or don't, I just fucking forget things. I don't smoke at all, man. I forget everything all goddamn day.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
I remember what it was.
There it
Reach
is.
out to us on socials about one particular thing. We're looking for more stuff to do. These one-offs like PWG that we just did while in our deep dive of ECW. We're thinking about doing some TNA stuff. Do you want us to do any other random-ass companies? Is there an event that you want us to do? Hit us up, DM us privately on the Up and Over pod, tweet at us. We would love to know what you want us to do next, because these one-offs are really fun. It's really cool to distract us from the other shit that we got going on, and a change of pace is always nice.
Yeah.
If you recommend us watching any WCWs, I will block you. I will not do it.
Oh, bud.
Give me something.
No
If
WCWs.
you're gonna recommend me something, give me something good. Not the shit every fucking podcast in the world do a million times. Give me something good. That's my challenge.
Honestly, I'd be okay with a top 10 recommended matches to go and watch. Just some food for thought.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fellas, anything else that you wanted to talk about before I get us on out of here?
I gotta go to bed.
It's like
Me
1 in the
too. I
morning.
gotta be at work in 6 hours.
Me too.
For the birthday boy, our coffee chugging Cadillac Cowboy Ethan. For Pinball Patty, for Big Papa C, for El Gordo, I am Mike. My room's probably 85 degrees. I'm sweating like a motherfucker here.
Open the windows.
Up and Over Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That was Up and Over Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, since Casey wants to just be a fucking psychopath. From there, on our Twitter and Twitter and Instagram, you will be able to find all of our social medias. As it was implied earlier, Cortland, myself, and it sounds like Ethan will be doing a Dynamite live watch along. Really, watch along. We've officially changed to a watch along.
Hey.
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on the Up and Over podcast YouTube. I think, what's our link tree? Is it linktr.ee/Up and Over pod as well? That's where you'll find all the
Something like that, I
damn
don't
links. From there, ask us questions, man. Tweet at us. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. Make sure you like, review,
Comment.
rate it, subscribe, all the fun stuff, all the boring stuff. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star rating. If you're listening on Spotify and you're listening right now, that means you made it through a whole episode. Leave us a 5-star rating as well. And guys, we will see you next week for Heatwave 1998 from ECW. Y'all enjoy your week, and we'll see you back here.
Fuck Jerry Lawler.